Jack and Jimmy from Carlton from Glamorgan. Jack Taylor from Gloucestershire. Jack, you have the coin. And this is the call from Kieran. He's ahead. So Glamorgan have won the toss. Kieran, thanks for your time. What have you decided to do and why?
So it's involved, obviously not going to have that inside and maybe a fresh cricket, so yeah.
Quick turnaround as well for you guys, like so many in this competition. Any team changes?
Yeah, Andy Morgan comes in for Ben Caraway, somebody that to see there, and yeah, performs really well this season.
Thanks for your time. Jack, having a bat first, how do you see it today?
Yeah, no, that's good. He set decent for the other night, so just maybe stuff in the but yeah, trying to get another good score today and play it.
Really good sport today, the sun's shining, the big game, the obviously really important game, focus on first, and then hopefully get together and watch it later.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a great day to look forward to, so yeah, take care of the 2 points here and then hopefully bring it home time.
And then he changes.
Just one change, Josh Shaw's in the last one.
Go well today. Thanks for your time, Jack Taylor and Kieran Carlson. Glamorgan have won the toss. They've elected to field first and confirm the team news very shortly. Today's coin toss kindly sponsored by Village Hotels.
Not the other guy. The worst mistake is whether the out.
the chapel and the beautiful trees above us. You'll see a sign and a gazebo here for To Wish. Now, we're all about charity here at Gloucestershire County Cricket Club. We try and raise as much support and awareness of many amazing charities as we can. And every match day is a vitality lap. And To Wish started in South Wales, and they've got links, of course, to Glamorgan. They're now spreading and doing incredible work in England and including Gloucestershire as well. So if I take you around to this store here, you can obviously buy some merchandise, you can have some sweets, you can donate, you can learn all about what they do, but you can also just chat to the friendly faces here at To Wish, representatives from the charity, including Millie. Millie, great to see you. So I haven't actually explained what the charity does, so I'm going to allow you to do that because you can tell it better. It's an incredible charity though, and it affects so many people.
Yeah, so we are a charity that support anyone impacted by the sudden unexpected death of a young person. So anyone aged 25 and under. We have a very meaningful connection back forward from our founder, but we're really keen to, we're now supporting people in Gloucestershire and lots of supporting our teams as well as Wales. So we're really keen to raise awareness of the work that we're doing so that if anybody does need support, we're here on hand. And that can be anyone, so it's whether you've been family impacted, friends, you might work in an industry where you're facing something traumatic, and we're on hand.
The website's towish.org.uk, and we can obviously head to that, but we can come and have a chat with you in confidence today. If we get a quiet moment, you're here all day, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We're here all day, and we have cards available, so even if you just already to talk about things right now, you can absolutely do that. Take the card away and contact us afterwards if you want to. But yeah, more than welcome to have a chat with anyone.
You helped support thousands of people in this society 12 years ago.
Yeah, 12 years ago. So we've really grown from such a small community-based charity, and we're now part of a 10-phase plan.
Just so for Mr. Healy's benefit, just testing the line. It's 7 minutes past 2. Glamorgan have won the toss and put Gloss in. Reasonable crowd in, not masses, but you know, there still might be some people who turn up in the next 20 minutes. Ground staff a bit annoyed. It's going to rain tomorrow. Spoke to one of them when I was downstairs. I think they would have feel that they might have liked a day when they could perhaps do a bit of rolling for the other game. A little bit of light rain Tuesday, rest of the week fine, so not too bad. Dan's just gone downstairs, I think, to go and speak to somebody, you know what he's like. So yeah, that's the scenario here. Excellent. Good.
One-day cup shirt sponsor. We also kindly sponsor March on the Langer. We'll be hearing from him shortly. BOM IT Solutions, our official IT partner. Bristol Honda, our official vehicle partner, and they sponsor the back.
No real surprises in either team.
Haircroft, T20 playing trouser sponsor. They also sponsor Bo Webster.
One change for them, one change for us. So.
Towergate, the official insurance partner and headline sponsor of the Towergate Cheltenham Cricket Festival. Heineken, our official partner and sponsor of the Heineken Premier Lab. Rundon, our official waste management and sustainability partner. Barton and Kirby, they sponsor the Mound Stand.
What about washrooms? What are they our partner? What are they our partner for?
Are they not?
Yeah, they are.
Croft, our telecommunications provider and limited owners boundary partner. Village Hotels, our official hotel partner. They sponsor the coin toss to remind the Glamorgan elected to bowl with us. Astroset, our official talent pathway program sleep sponsor. They also sponsor the activation zone where you can test out your skills today. ETS, our official tour partner.
If Zoom was a 400-metre runner, he'd be a real cruiser, wouldn't he, down the back straight? He really would.
Or even
like an 800.
What?
Even like an 800.
Yeah, I think more of a 4.
Do you think he's got the pace for that?
Yeah, I mean, if he does a sprint up and down here.
Well, I saw him as like a sort of, Christina Hurrigu type finish.
Right, okay.
Was she 800?
Yeah.
I can't remember now. Christina Hurrigu, what was her distance?
Christina?
No, Hurrigu. Was she 800 or was she 1500? 800.
I thought she was longer than that. I thought she was like 3,000 or 5,000. See, look, Ed, look.
Yeah, but that's still, if you're going to run.
Yeah, he's a cruiser.
Yeah, but that's good, like 800 metre pace, I would say.
You say?
I think that's a good, like 800.
Who's that? Alright. I said he used to.
She was 400 Hurrigu, so there you go. So actually, no, I'm back with you on the 400 then.
Tell you, we've had quite a lot of the Oval. It's Donna Fraser, the old sprinter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you get all sorts of people at the Oval. They love. I remember.
Roland knows her. Roland, yeah.
Okay. Because they love. Like I can't remember. I think it was before the T20. Right? Mark Church and John Surtees just standing there, basically like deciding which celebrities they might want. Oh, she'd be great. Yeah, let's get her. Oh, he'd be pretty good as well. Oh no, we don't want him. That sort of thing. Like they knew all of them, and
yeah,
and of course all of them would accept because this is Surrey.
Of course.
It's a different world, the Oval. It really is.
Well, I'm not sure how Roland Butcher would cope with it being here, actually, because he can't
not particularly be able to see what was going on.
And also, he can't have the aircon pumped up to 34 degrees. I've got a question for you. Go on.
are visitors from South Wales. Number 5, captain Kieran Carlson. Number 28, Will Smale. Number 13, Tom Bevan. Number 33, Marnus Lavashane. Number 41, Colin Ingram. Number 46, wicketkeeper Chris Cook. Number 88, Dan Southwaite. Number 64, Tim van der Houten. Number 3, Mason Craig. Number 11, Andy Morgan. And number 35, Jamie McElroy. Okay, here is your Gloucestershire starting 11. Sponsored by Empire Fighting Champs. He hails from Cheltenham, 88 Miles Hammond. Sponsored by Pace, number 4, Cameron Bancroft. Sponsored by Aircroft, number 30, Bo Webster. Sponsored by BIE Magnum, number 64, Ben Charlesworth. Sponsored by Arthur David Limited, number 10, Captain Jack Taylor. Sponsored by The Waiting Game, number 67, Ollie Price. Sponsored by Clifton Coffee Roasters, number 25, wicketkeeper James Bracey. Sponsored by the Cambridge Courtyard, who's been in scintillating form this season, number 36, Matt Taylor. Sponsored by 6 O'Clock Gin, number 5, Josh Shaw. Another exceptional campaign for this man, sponsored by Acronyms, number 14, David Payne. Sponsored by Woods Washrooms, great to see him back in the team, number 6, Tom Smith. And sponsored by Toppington Manor School, it's our beloved mascot, Alfred the Gorilla. You're seeing him, I'm sure, today. You will notice there was one change from the side that lost narrowly on the final ball on Friday night. Martin Delanger stepping out for Josh Shaw. So Martin not in the side today, but as always, on great form and well worth hearing from. So let's hear the thoughts of Martin right now. Martin, thanks ever so much for your time. The sun is shining, we're at the Tower Cricket Festival. How are spirits, particularly after obviously a disappointing result, but a really encouraging performance?
Yeah, first is always nice to come down here. Beautiful weather, feels a lot like home, although I was there 7 years ago. No, teasing, no, being good for it. Yeah, coming off an interesting game yesterday. To be fair, they played well. I thought we put up a good total there. The guys were barking away with the bat, and yeah, just a little bit short at the end. But overall, Spurs is still pretty good.
In terms of quarter-final prospects, how do you see it?
Well, it's a no-brainer. Got to win today. We'll take it firstly, obviously today's game, get through this, and then obviously for one more game left, and try and get the points on the board, as they say, and see where the boys who's going to have to chase that down, see where they're at. The controllables is in our hands. Firstly, like today, got to get over the line against Glamorgan. They're a pretty decent side, so we'll have to play well.
You don't strike me as someone who chirps a lot when you bowl, despite bowling at a good pace. But you know some of these guys, so how does that sit?
To be fair, I try and keep that all internal. Yeah, I know a couple of the boys, been there for a couple of years prior, so like I said, I've got some good players, guys that can change the game as well. You've always got to be wary in T20 as well. We've seen it. Literally goes down to the last ball. We've been a part of that as well. So, no, like I said, they've got decent players, but I'm backing our boys. We've done really well up top with the ball throughout this whole campaign, and yeah, a couple of good performances throughout as well with the bat. So if we can click it and get it all together, hopefully we'll get over the line.
How much have you enjoyed being out there on a regular basis? What's that meant to you, being out on the park so regularly this week?
Oh, good question, thanks. No, it's always nice being out there. I think as a cricket team, we play as much as possible, be out there, and build confidence, internal confidence in your performances, not just that, being a part of the squad and being with the boys. That's what we train for. No matter what, that's all you want to do going forward. So, no, it's been nice personally to be out there as much as possible, especially after last year's big one. But yeah, there's a lot of personal achievements that I still want to fulfill, and hopefully we can make that happen.
Just finally, you'll be watching the football later, and who will you be supporting?
No, indeed, I'll be watching. Hopefully England brings it home. No, I think it's going to be a good one. Wishing everyone the best out there. Let's support the boys.
Two teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's one wicketkeeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. One over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team is scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
Good afternoon to you, wherever you may be joining us from. Welcome to the last day for Gloucestershire at the 2024 Cheltenham Festival. It's Vitality Blast against Glamorgan. It's the last home game in the group, and the maths are now really difficult over qualification, and they've made difficult by what happened at Southampton on Friday, and then what Michael Pepper did for Essex against Sussex yesterday, making the biggest score of the tournament this year and really putting Essex in the pole position for that 4th place. What has to happen for Gloucestershire to qualify is they have to win the last 2 matches, which is today and then Middlesex away the last game, and then one of 2 things has to happen along with that. Essex have to lose their last 2 preferably with a reasonable margin, or Somerset have to lose their last 3. And you like a little pound, Dan, don't you? You like a pound. I think your pound is probably best in your pocket at the moment.
Good afternoon, Ian. Good afternoon, Gloss fans, and Borada, if you're listening from the other side of the Severn Bridge. And welcome to the Gloucestershire stream. And yes, Ian, you know, being a frugal man, I think my pound will stay firmly entrenched in my skyrocket.
Yeah, it looks long odds against. So 2 teams here really just trying to get a bit of pride, and it's appropriate to say that because it is LGBTQ Day here at Cheltenham. Team news. I'll give you the Glamorgan team first, and then Dan can give you the Gloucestershire side. Glamorgan made 1 change. Ben Callaway drops out. They've gone for the extra seam bowler, so Andy Gorvin comes into their side. Kieran Carlson, who captains the side in the absence of Sam North East. Will Smale, whose sister Sophia, of course, is in the Western Storm squad. Tom Bevan, Marnus Labuschagne, Colin Ingram. There's the really and with Chris Cook, 4-5-6, plenty of experience there. And then the bowlers who bat, Dan Douthwaite and Tim von der Hoogsten, and Mason Crane, you might argue, and Gorvin and McElroy, who also played, of course, in the tie in the championship here at the start of the festival. Gloucestershire, again, I think only 1 change, Dan.
Yep, Cameron Bancroft, Miles Hammond, Bo Webster, Ben Charlesworth, Ollie Price, James Bracey, skipper Jack Taylor, Josh Shaw, Matt Taylor, David Payne and Tom Smith will make the line-up in this, what I'm calling the Battle of the Dropped Catch here, because Gloucestershire has spilt a few. Glamorgan shelled loads in that game that Gloucestershire remarkably won with a 6 off the last ball in the first encounter in Cardiff. And I saw Glamorgan against Surrey earlier in the season. They shelled a few there as well. So, you know, hopefully both sides will have gone away and done their homework.
Umpires today, Alex Worth and Suri Shanmugam, and Steve Davis is our match referee, match official. So Gloucestershire, having lost the toss, find themselves batting first for a change here at Cheltenham. So we're just going to see what they think they can set. Cameron Bancroft and Miles Hammond opening the batting. Hammond is the leading run scorer, and he's also top of the Gloucestershire averages as well. Only Hammond and Jack Taylor have made a 50 in the competition this season. But you know, I looked at this last night after I listened almost in disbelief to the conclusion of the Sussex-Essex match. Gloucestershire have got a better record against the teams above them in the table than the teams below them, and that shows that they've made chances to win, but they haven't taken them.
No, they certainly haven't, and if Gloucestershire don't qualify, they'll be kicking themselves. That DLS game against Kent here last 10 days ago, where they were actually ahead of DLS, came back out for an over and a half and managed to contrive to lose 2 wickets and got behind the DLS rate. So,
and I think you'd include Friday in that as well. When you've got the opposition needing 85 off 6 overs, you're doing quite well to lose from there, I think.
Miles Hammond's going to take the first ball, and from the chapel end is Tim van der Hoogten, and Hammond pushes that to mid-off. Hammond in reasonable nick took an absolute world-class catch here on Friday in that game against Middlesex. Was it Friday or Thursday? It was Thursday against Middlesex.
Thursday.
I don't know what day of the week it is.
Even Mark, the cameraman who follows the ball for us on the stream, even he went past Hammond thinking the ball had gone beyond him.
Van der Hoogten in, and that's pushed again out to Labuschagne at mid-off. So the 2 men out for Glamorgan. They've got Dan Douthwaite, who's in front of point here, in front of us. He's at sort of a deep cover point. And then they've got a deep backward square as well. Just 2 men allowed outside the discs. during the power play. Hammond looked a little bit scratchy in that game against Middlesex. Middlesex bowled well at him. That's beaten him outside off stump and goes through to Cook.
Didn't carry to him either. It
no.
bounced short.
I think he's rolled his fingers across that one.
It's a fresh pitch today. Not a. We talk a lot about the limits of the county square here at Cheltenham, but it's a fresh pitch and it's probably just about as central as you can get.
Here's Van der Hoogten in. 3-dot balls to start with and gone. Hammond caught at mid-on and he gets his second consecutive duck, and Gloucestershire are 0 for 1.
Gorvin, I think, with the catch. It was travelling, but it was a nice height for him at mid-on, and Hammond, he's got, I say, a couple of 50s in the competition, but Mason Crane, in fact, credited with the catch, and that means Gloucester are going to shuffle the order a bit here. They're going to send James Bracey in at number 3. So he was down at 7, I think, on Friday night. He batted at 3 against Kent here.
Yeah, and against Middlesex he batted at 3.
And he was actually listed at 7 when the side was read out on the PA by Rob Scanlon. So it's probably that old thing of, we've lost a left-hander, we want to send another left-hander in.
Yeah, but worst possible start for the hosts here. Here is Bracey about to face Van der Hoogten and almost nicks off first ball. This is absolute quality from Tim Van der Hoogten.
He's been a really good performer for Glamorgan across, both the white ball and red ball formats.
I'm sure he speaks much Dutch though.
He's got 150 wickets at less than 23, which if you compare that average to David Payne's average, he's been playing almost as long. Payne's average is about 0.5 of a run lower. It's not much in it.
Bracey just turns anti onside, and that's a wicket maiden to start off for Van der Hoogten, and it's showing why he is a high quality operator.
Yeah, very experienced now. Going to have Jamie McElroy bowling from the other end, the left armour. Of course, faced the last ball in the championship tie and was caught one-handed by Bracey. So McElroy from the College lawn end at Cheltenham. The Sanford Road stand, there aren't many spare seats, and there are a few in the middle block and maybe the one to the left, but that's pretty full. Members probably 75% full to our left, and a good number in the stand down in front of the pavilion. So a good crowd for a game which, I say, signals the finale to Gloucestershire's involvement here at Cheltenham this year. McElroy after over the wicket. Bancroft pushes that up to mid-off. Fielded by Labuschagne, no run.
Yeah.
There is, of course...
You're impersonating Marcus there, actually saying that was a dot ball. Marnus, sorry, not Marcus, Marnus.
There is, of course, a 4-day game here this week at Cheltenham, England under 19s against their Sri Lankan counterparts. McElroy in, and Bancroft plays that almost into his pad. It's a tight single, but he's going to get there. And the cheer for the first run.
Oh, the irony
of the afternoon. So, with Bracey batting at 3, it will be interesting to see how Gloucestershire now put their batting order together, whether they leave Charlesworth and Price down the order, and the grafters, if you're with Jack Taylor as well, 5, 6, 7, and allow Bracey and Webster a little bit more time if they are indeed introduced into things early. 1 for 1 in the second over. Bracey's just taken guard, waits now for McElroy, left arm over the wicket, and it's clipped away to Douthwaite at deep square, and they'll take a comfortable single. I'm talking about people who've been good value for their counties. No question Von der Hoogten has been. Chris Cook's been value for Glamorgan too, hasn't he?
Yeah, that Ian Randall at Gloucestershire, he's good value. Wonderful value.
I gather you were good value in the Hub Marquee before play today. Here's McElroy in, and a scoop
nice
from Bancroft will get him 4 runs. Right over the keeper. We've not seen Bancroft play that sort of more revolutionary shot, if you like. He's been much more circumspect in this tournament. Perhaps he thinks the shackles are off a little bit now with 2 to play.
Yeah, we've had a message as well from Tony Mills, who's well known to all Gloucestershire fans, and saying, wish I could be there then. I have a trapped nerve currently causing excruciating pain, so relying on your excellent commentary. Many thanks to you and Ian. Well, Tony, you get yourself better, mate. You go and get yourself sorted out. Hopefully Gloucestershire will relieve your pain.
Bancroft again waits for McElroy. Steered up to mid-on. There's a bit of a fierce throw, which goes over Cook. And there's no overthrows because Colin Ingram was backing up from his position at slip. So just the single. So after that maiden from Von der Hoogten. Bracey waits for McElroy, and it's him on the pad. He tries to work that away over wide mid-wicket, wide straight mid-wicket. Doesn't get any bat on it. It dribbles out onto the offside, fielded by Smale. No run, end of the over. 7 for 1 after 2. The rest of the Glamorgan attack, the skiddy, I think you could call him the skiddy Andy Gorvin. The spin of Mason Crane. Obviously Labuschagne could also bowl some spin or some little seamers if necessary, and Dan Douthwaite, who bustled into quite good effect in the championship.
Didn't we describe Andy Gorvin last year as sounding like a sort of bloke who plays centre midfield for Stenhouse Muir? Andy Gorvin. And he's from Portsmouth, I think, as well, isn't he? Anyway, here's Van der Hoogten coming in from the Chapel End. Oh, Bancroft goes funky there, and curious shot, sort of toe ends it like a snooker shot, wasn't it?
And that was because I think Von der Hoogten maybe anticipated he was going to try and play that and bowled it full and straight, and there was just no room to play that shot. Bancroft batting, I reckon, 9 inches outside his crease here.
Yeah, trying to negate the swing or the movement, the seam movement from Van der Hoogten. And there's going to be a run off Van der Hoogten. What's going on here? It's only his 8th ball.
Fielded by Crane once again, who took the catch to dismiss Miles Hammond.
1 for 1 now, Van der Hoogten.
Even on the driest of dry days, Crane always has that towel out of the back of his trousers.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would need it today.
Here he comes from the Chapel End, and that's smashed by Bracey. 2 bounces through mid-wicket and crashes into the advertising boards, but in front of the scoreboard on the Sanford Road side of the ground. Good shot.
Good shot, yeah. We've got McElroy is in at that mid-wicket position, but there's no sweeper on the rope. At this point, the 2 men out are both square. So Bracey knew if he could clear the man at mid-wicket, it would race away.
Here's Van der Hoogten. And that's gone up in the air. That's going to be 4 more as well. 1 bounce this time, about 10 yards to the left of where the first one went.
And that was cleaner too.
Yeah.
It was, again, into the gap between Crane and McElroy, but it was going at a different rate. It sounded a cleaner strike.
Yeah, I'm doing my best not to cover my microphone in phlegm when I say Van der Hoogten. Here he comes. Just one there. Bracey nurdles that into the offside. Defensively, minimal risk shot and picks up the single. Good over this for Gloucestershire.
Bracey 6, Bancroft 7.
9 off it so far. I think you need 50 off the power play here.
Oh, not much doubt about that, I wouldn't think.
And hooked into Bancroft, who drives, only to pick out the fielder there at extra cover. Who, I think that's Smale actually, isn't it? Yeah, so end of the third, 17 for 1, 10 off the over.
I think you might see Douthwaite. Yeah, so it's only 1 over from McElroy, and Kieran Carlson's deciding that Dan Douthwaite's going to have a bowl now from the College lawn end.
Yep, Kieran Carlson there, product of Whitchurch High School. Not a bad sports record in that school, with Gareth Bale, Sam Warburton, Geraint Thomas, Kieran Carlson. It's a reasonable record.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for Douthwaite, they've got a short third, a backward point and a short fine leg. Right arm over the wicket he is, and punched up to mid-off by Bracey. No run, straight to the fielder.
Yeah, he's hit that too well. He hit that too hard in a way at the fielder, because they're quite deep there. Labuschagne and Crane are on the edge of the discs, aren't they?
Labuschagne spinning himself a catch. I think we might see some wrist spin from him today, as opposed to the little seamers he bowled in the championship. 17 for 1 in the third. Douthwaite bounds in, and that's chopped by Bracey, but it's over the backward point and it's gone away for 4. Down to the Sanford Road boundary. That's the hospital side of the ground if you know your Cheltenham.
Well, Croft sponsor the boundaries here in the T20 campaign, and their advertising board is getting a thorough peppering thanks to James Bracey.
He's gone out there with the intention of really putting bat to ball from minute 1. Douthwaite past and past Shanmugam. Bracey again goes aerial. That will probably run away for 4 more. Past, wide, long on, and it goes into the boards now. And he's decided, rather than pushing and nurdling the ball around for an over or 2, he's going to go out there and put bat to ball straight away. Not had a great season in terms of the bat in this competition. 18 already, Douthwaite to him. Oh, that's not given as a wide by umpire Shanmugam. Bracey stretching forward a bit, but everything so far off the bat. All 25 runs off the bat. 18 to Bracey, 7 to Bancroft.
Yeah, we've got the BBC next to us here at Cheltenham.
We're looking out from the balcony, side on to the wicket, and Bracey again goes aerial. It's the same shot with everybody up other than 2 fielders out square of the wicket. He's freeing his arms and using the spaces behind those inside the 30-yard circle to get Gloucestershire off to a brisk start here. We're in the 4th over. Vonderhoofden started with a maiden, and yet Gloucestershire have already got to 29 for 1, and Bracey to 22. Douthwaite, what's his response? Worked again by Bracey into the legs. There's a chase round from McElroy. They'll take 1. They thought about a second, but the throw's on its way. There was never a second run there, and good call from Bracey to deny Bancroft the chance to come back for 2. So Bracey will keep the strike. 23 he has, and Gloucestershire are 30 for 1 off 4. There were 13 off that over.
Yeah, it was a good bit of fielding from McElroy, because he had to run around it being a left-hander or left-armer, and he got round the ball quickly and got it out of the hand quickly, which always, once it's out of the hand, it's very hard for the batter to know how quickly it's actually travelling into the keeper. You know, whether it's a throw like Colin Bland or whether it's a throw like Ian Rand. Oh.
Knew where that was heading.
Van der Hoogten, and that's a hoik there from Bracey. Hits the pad and dribbles out.
I think that would have gone over the Sanford Road stand if he'd have middled that.
Yes, certainly
wound
would.
himself up for it.
Yeah, I think he might have gone over Cleve Hill.
That would be quite a hit. Lovely clear view of Cleve Hill today. No murky cloud in the way.
Van der Hoogten in, slower ball. Bracey doesn't really pick it and has a big swing and misses it. Yeah, I love this place. I mean, it's my last time here this year and I'm gonna miss it. My third Cheltenham Festival, and just the Cleve Hill in the distance. Very first day I came here was 38 degrees. Do you remember that one, Ian?
Probably stopped playing at 4:30 in the afternoon, I think, as
Yeah,
well.
we did. Van der Hoogten in, and Bracey is just got that one a little bit wrong, but it just dribbles out onto the onside, and good running by Bancroft, showing good awareness and calls Bracey through for the single.
So Van der Hoogten's going to bowl, well, obviously throughout the power play from the Chapel end. Whether they'll keep an over back, normally that's what tends to happen. With your senior bowler, you leave one just in case you need him, not necessarily for the last over, but maybe from 16 onwards.
Here he comes to Bancroft, and that's off the hip and goes out to Douthwaite, deep backward square, and Douthwaite hurls it into the wicket ends from previous games here.
Yes, this is, I'm trying to think how many days cricket we've had here at Cheltenham this year. 4 for the Championship, 2 Western Storm games,
3 T20s.
This is the 3rd T20, so this will be the 9th day of the festival, and there are 4 more to come with the under-19s match.
That's gone miles up in the air from Bracey. I think that's going to go all the way. It does. That's huge.
Didn't clear the boundary by that much actually in the end.
The elevation
went a long way up.
Yeah, the elevation was massive. Yeah, I think that went higher than the Chapel.
Yeah, and Rob Scanlon just spotting that Bracey started the day on 970 T20 runs, so that takes him to exactly 1,000.
Yeah. He's a good, experienced pro, isn't he, Bracey? That's almost got him out though there from Van der Hoogten. Great comeback. Gloucestershire at the end of the 5th, 38 for 1. There's been a lot of stuff said on social media in the last couple of days with, you know, the results haven't gone Gloucestershire's way, and T20 is a very sort of fine line, isn't there, between success and failure. If you're looking at the European Championships, the fine line is actually called Hadrian's Wall, but you know, going back to the social media, some of the stuff has actually been a little bit out of order, and the players' families read this sort of stuff and they don't need it.
McElroy going back into the attack ball, the last over of the power play, and Bancroft has decided to join the party now as well, and he's launched that onto the roof of the black marquee at deep mid-wicket, and it's going to bounce through to where my Dan had his pizza earlier on. 44 for 1.
It has certainly ruined my margarita, Ian, if that suddenly I've got a Cameron Bancroft 6 right in the middle of it, I tell you.
Certainly it was too short from McElroy, and that's what George Garton found when he was bowling to Matthew Waite at Edgbaston on Friday. McElroy again, and Bancroft to go back this time, just chops it out into the offside, fielded by Will Smale, who's in a deep gully position. Yeah, you've seen the footage of that. Garton, I think the last over was 6-4, was it 6-4-4, 6-6-6, I think. And the first ball was full, the second ball was short, and he kept bowling short after that, even though it hadn't worked previously. And he thought, needs a bit of brighter thinking there. That's almost a full toss, and Bancroft's gone straight down the ground, and that will be one bounce 4. Nobody at long off, or long on for that matter, and it's a good shot from Bancroft into space, and Gloucestershire trying to make the most of the power play here, conscious that Glamorgan can put players back. And in the 6th over, they've got to the 50 that Dan wanted them to break past. And
do you know what, this looks a good pitch though, doesn't it? It's a fresh deck.
And Glamorgan has called this as a free hit delivery after a no ball, and Bancroft's going to drop that into 4 more. Again out to long on, same result. So he was called for the no ball, was McElroy, and effectively means Gloucestershire have scored 8 off 1 delivery, 1 legal delivery.
Yeah, this is an expensive over already.
54 for 1. McElroy and repeat. This one's gone full all the way, almost to the same spot. There's a horse box there. Well, it looks like a small horse box anyway, and Bancroft has nearly bounced that shot into the horse box, and it's a very, very expensive over.
22 of 4 balls already in this over.
Yeah, this is. But perhaps he's been watching that Matthew Waite video from the other night.
I was thinking the other day, Bancroft struggled a little bit in this format, hasn't he?
Well, they say he started with some very steady scores, but not made like this, not made batting like this.
No.
Then a series of single-figure scores until he got 34, I think, the other night. Eventually, Labuschagne goes back at long on. They pulled Douthwaite into the circle at point. McElroy again, almost a Yorker this time though, coming around the wicket, changing the angle, and Bancroft can only steer it to Smale at backward point.
Yeah, I think, in this instance, what you don't see, Shahid Bashir had it when Dan Lawrence collared him and Louis Kimber then collared Ollie Robinson. Bowlers just need to go and do your shoelaces up, go and just take a little bit of the heat out of the game.
McElroy around the wicket. Expensive recall to the attack for him. And Bancroft pulls it, not very cleanly. It goes to deep backward square, and they'll take 1. There wasn't going to be a second one on the return, but that's a really good over for Gloucestershire to conclude the power play. Both Bancroft and Bracey now looking to really get going here. They lost Hammond early, but at the end of the power play, these two have got their eye in, and 24, I think, off that last over from McElroy. We're going to see a change with Gorvin into the attack for the first time.
Yeah, I think a fresh wicket suits Gloucestershire. They've been playing on used wickets quite a bit, not only here at Cheltenham, where the square management, dictates that perhaps, but at Bristol as well. And I think a fresh wicket suits Gloucestershire's batting way more. Here's Gorvin in, and that's just line and length, bowling what he bowls.
Cook standing up, which tells you that it might almost be pace off from Gorvin.
He's going to bowl cutters, isn't he?
Yeah, and by the way, 23 from that last over from McElroy, just to make sure my maths was correct.
Yeah, that was 1 to Bancroft there, who's matching Bracey now, both on 30. Bracey having taken 18 balls, Bancroft 16 balls. But it goes to show, 61 off the last 5 overs. Oh, Bracey goes back to that. That could be out. Oh, Carlson had a shy, and Bracey, it was touch and go there. In fact, the second over, at the end of the second over, the score was only 7. So they've scored 54 off 4. That's some going. You do that regularly, you do that right through an innings, and you'll win more games than you lose.
Oh, for sure.
Gorvin, Bancroft drives, picks out the 1. Same man, deep cover.
Yes, he's not bowling these at any great pace at all, is he, Gorvin?
No. No.
But as we found in the championship game here, he's a wicket-to-wicket bowler.
Yeah. That's gone up in the air. That's going to be out. And that's taken.
It's Crane again, I think.
Crane out and long on. And Bracey departs for a bright and breezy 31.
Yeah, it looks as if he actually connected pretty well with that, but because it had gone straighter, the boundary is just that little bit longer the closer you get to the sight screen. If you'd pulled that round another 10 metres, that would have probably gone for 6. With Crane unable to reach it, but because it was just that bit straighter, it was, in the end, pouched securely by Mason Crane. Second catch of the afternoon for him.
If that had been at Cardiff, it would have been in the River Taff.
Oh, well, certainly towards the river end it would have been.
Yeah.
Yes, no questions, because it is a short boundary that hit that way. That's Sophia Gardens. So Bo Webster in at number 4. Feeling impression we've not seen the absolute best of him with the bat in this tournament. He's got a few starts, but his top score is I say only, is 40.
No, I had a good chat with him before the game, actually. Very impressive man and loving life in Bristol. Says the club's really looked after him. The fans have been fantastic to him, and he's loved life in the West Country. Ooh, thick inside edge there from Webster, fortuitous, and gets off the mark first ball. But he said he's loving life and he's hoping to come back next year. He'd love to come back next year, and he just said he's just really just felt at home here at Gloucestershire. As does Marnus at Glamorgan, doesn't he? Gorvin in, and Bancroft just works that out to Douthwaite. Deep backward square, picks up the 1. That completes the over. 67 for 2 at the end of the 7th. But Marnus has been, Glamorgan's obviously got that pull, hasn't it? Because Marnus has been going back there year after year after year, hasn't he? And he sort of feels affiliated with the Welsh people.
That does happen sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost in the sense that it's not all about the paycheck.
No, it's just
how
about
much it is.
Yeah, it's just about fitting in because, I'm sure Gloucestershire and Glamorgan, I mean, they're nowhere near the highest payers in the game, and they've got to have something else to offer apart from just pure boolah.
So Douthwaite back at the chapel at the College Lawn end, as you were, and Labashane is now back again on the long on boundary, paddle swept really by Bancroft. That was of a length where he could reach and just about pull that round. Ingram is down in front of the scoreboard at fine leg. I'll just keep them to a single. I wasn't until I really looked at the numbers of Webster's tournament. He is 3rd on the economy rate for Gloucestershire's bowlers. I think only Matt Taylor and David Payne are more economical than Webster. Here he is with the bat and worked into the onside to deep mid wicket, just a single. But he's only taken 4 wickets, which was a bit of a surprise because he's bowled 39 overs, I think.
But I think wickets are important because it puts the brakes on sides. But it's limited overs cricket. It's about economy. Sometimes economy is more important than wickets.
Douthwaite, passed on by Shanmugam. Bancroft has to really force that away through where mid-off would be.
Yeah, I think that's the leg cutter there from Douthwaite.
Doesn't get a touch. Still got a short third man and almost a deep gully for Douthwaite, and Gorvin is just in front of square at point. Douthwaite in again. That's where that goes. Gorvin moves 2 yards to his left to field. Now, just take the singles. Only if it goes straight to the fielder on either side of the wicket here at Cheltenham, it's only ever one. They got ground to make up. Possibility you could run two. There are a couple of threes, maybe into the corners. 69 for 2 in the 8th. I think that might be called a no ball. That was very high, and Webster's not going to get run out because the throw is inaccurate. Now, what's umpire Shanmugam going to say about that? He's going to say that's okay.
Yeah, I think if it's to Webster, if it was to Graham Van Buren, it would have been a head-high beamer. Yes, but to Bo Webster,
fortunately, he probably bowled it to the tallest man in either side today.
Yeah.
70 for 2.
Gorvin down in front of us and down Douthwaite were both products of Cardiff MCCU, weren't they? And was picked up by, I think, Matthew Maynard.
Douthwaite bowls short down the leg side, and it's been called as a wide, despite Cook saying, was there a nick there? Umpire Shanmugam stretching his arms. I think he may also be here for the under-19s game, I'm hearing. So
yeah, England v Sri Lanka. And there's
a few sons of well-known players could be playing.
One certain ex-Gloucestershire coach is skippering.
Bancroft high in the air. Is that going to go on for 6? Oh, it is. It's going to go over the yellow tented marquee. That's what he planted a previous 6 onto the roof of the black one. That's cleared the yellow one completely. It's gone a long way up as well from Bancroft, so he's gone both square of the wicket and down the ground and cleared the rope, and he's potentially heading for his top score in the tournament this season for Gloucestershire. He's got 40, he's got 42 as his best score, and he's still out there with power to add.
Yep, that
77 for 2 off 8.
That one almost hitting the those lovely people who run the Jamaican jerk chicken stall down there. Always came back with a bit of oxtail on it, that one. Mason Crane is going to come into the attack from the Chapel end, so we are going to see a little bit of spin. Here he comes. He often starts off with a googly. A little bit of flight there from Crane. Nice and full.
Obviously 2 right-handers in now, so they're hitting against the spin in theory. If he bowls his standard leg break, if there is indeed any turnout there.
Yeah, I think big gap at extra cover though. I think that's where Bancroft might be aiming. Well, there's only one there. Goes out to, that's McElroy out there. It's a long way away from us on our side of the ground.
Probably about 150 yards.
Yeah, Crane tosses that up. Webster in just that way. For me, this campaign will be epitomised by Webster just going one and just strolling down the track.
About four strides.
Yeah, yeah. 2 Australians out the crease. And that's screamed out to long on there by Bancroft, but well fielded by another Australian. Bowled by a man who played just one test against Australia as well, didn't he?
Sorry.
Mason Crane?
Sorry, Mason Crane's one test was, yes, correct.
Yeah, Sydney, I think. Webster pushes that into the offside, picks up the single.
Yes, when you referred to Labuschagne and one test, I thought, hang on a minute, you can't be, you don't mean that, do you?
No, bowled by the man.
Bowled by the
man. Bowled by the man who played just a solitary test. And that's tossed up, and Bancroft meets it on the full. He might get 2 here. Yeah, they're going to come back. There's a misfield.
Bevan did well to stop that, but that's going into that sort of pocket of space where you can run a 2, and I think probably was even 2 there, even if he'd come round the ball and got his throw in quickly.
We spoke the other day about T20, and you know, if you can't hit boundaries, It's so important. Trying to hit the pockets and get 2s instead of 1s, isn't it, here?
Particularly here.
Yeah.
Well, Gorvin's going to change ends and replace Douthwaite at the College lawn end.
Turning in the College lawn end is number 11, Andy Gorvin.
So five bowlers used so far by Glamorgan. Labuschagne isn't one of them yet. Here is Gorvin though. Oh, that's a lovely shot. That's pierced the field way through extra cover for 4. Webster, if he just wind himself up and plays that drive with good timing, it's a pretty nice sight for a Gloucestershire supporter. And nothing. I mean, Carlson was rooted to the spot on the edge of the circle. He knew he wasn't going to reach it. And Crane coming round the boundary had no chance either from long off. Gorvin again, short. Webster doesn't really time that. He crunches it into the ground, and Douthwaite on the boundary at deep point, just in front of square. Does the fielding. 89 for 2 in the 10th. Gloucestershire would be thinking of a score starting with a 2 if they can. Glamorgan are in with Gorvin. That's tossed up, and it's going to be caught by Douthwaite. A slightly slower ball, and Bancroft goes for 44. Gorvin gets the wicket. It was floated up. Bancroft was tempted by it, and Douthwaite, coming in off the rope, had to dive forward. There was a risk with those that the elbow, when you hit the floor, the ball bounces out, but he clung on, and Gloucestershire lose their 3rd wicket.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic catch actually there by Dan Douthwaite. Made a lot of ground and took it just inches above the turf, and really good piece of work. Speaking about saying Glamorgan dropped some absolute howlers, didn't they? In that game against Gloucestershire, which Gloucestershire won at Sophia Gardens the other week. Good experienced pros there. People like Sam Northeast and Kieran Carlson, and guys with normally very reliable pair of hands. And I think they've had a look at their fielding, worked on it, and their catching looks miles better today already than it was in that game.
I think 1 or 2 in the crowd have just said to Douthwaite, good catch, and he's just put his hand up to acknowledge that.
Yeah,
that's
well, they're a good crowd here at Cheltenham. They appreciate good cricket, whether it comes from the opposition. Obviously, they want Gloucestershire to win, but if somebody does something good from the opposition, they appreciate it, and rightly so. That's how it should be. Unlike certain other ground, possibly down the M5.
Jack Taylor in at number 5, and he waits for Gorvin now, and he's off the mark straight away. There's no risk of anything other than a single, though, out to deep long on.
There's a very good article actually by the Gloucestershire blog called Rain Stop Play Inspection at 3, written by Andrew Thomas, who's a fine chap, and he speaks about opposition crowds and being magnanimous in your support.
Gorvin in short again. Webster with that quite high backlift that he's got, doesn't quite middle that one like he did the drive earlier in the over, but he'll still pick up a single out to Douthwaite. Not a tall man, Gorvin, for a seam bowler. He's probably 5'9", maybe 5'10", not much more than that. Jack Taylor batting outside his crease again, can find another single, squirted out to Douthwaite on the boundary. So a wicket for Gorvin in that over. 93. That board has got the run up already. I think it may have. 92 for 3, 8 off the over and the wicket. Decent start. We've still got Ollie Price and Ben Charlesworth to come, who can accelerate the run rate. What can these two do, though, to build on it from the halfway point?
Yeah, I think if they want to get near the 200 mark, they need Jack Taylor to, have a Jack Taylor innings.
He's got a couple of 50s in the tournament.
He hit an enormous 6 here on Thursday almost went into the car park, which is probably another 60 yards back from the long on boundary. Here's Crane bowling to Taylor. Circumspect, he rocks onto the front foot and pushes that out to Carlson, skipper to skipper.
He's got long on and long off out, Crane, unsurprisingly, and two out on the leg side. Both Bevan and Douthwaite patrolling the rope, square of the wicket.
Crane, Taylor goes over extra cover, and that is not going to be cut off down there, down the hill.
So that was about placement, with the two men straight. Just tried to open himself up a little bit because they knew there was a gap over Carlson which was unpatrolled.
Crane to Taylor, who pushes that one through point. They look for two, but McElroy's in quickly off that boundary. Yeah, I think Taylor, he just opens up his body, doesn't he, and goes over extra as opposed to hitting down the ground. Crane again, Webster happy just to take the one, has a little stroll and realises it's actually curved round. When you play it square on the offside, sometimes it curls round to point, doesn't it? And realised that he'd better get his skates on and gets down the other end.
Gordon was interested in a throw at the bowler's end for a moment.
Crane to Taylor, that's going to go away for 4 runs, and that brings up Gloucestershire's 100 in the 11th over with a rather elegant looking 4 from Jack Taylor there.
Again,
stroked it, they caressed it.
That wasn't hit particularly hard either, was it?
No, just pure timing. Really good shot. Taylor, that's spun to point, 1 bounce. 102 for 3 at the end of the 11th. Taylor on 11 and Bo Webster is on 13.
In terms of who's bowled what for Glamorgan, Von der Hoogten's bowled 3 and all the other bowlers have bowled 2 each. So Kieran Carlson at the moment doesn't look like he's going to use Labuschagne, which is interesting. He might be forced to, I suppose, if somebody really gets their figures ruined with one particularly bad over, but we'll see about that. Gorvin to continue for the moment from the college lawn end. Again, it's very full, squeezed out by Webster to Will Smale, who's probably going to open the batting later, and his throw-in keeps them down to a single.
Chris Cook's gloves, Ian, they look like a pair of marigolds.
They'll be on that colour, aren't they?
Like Glamorgan's colours are blue and yellow, but Chris Cook looks like he's about to do the washing up in them.
Gorvin in. Taylor, that's gone for 6. No need to chase that. That's gone, again, way over that.
That's into the jerk chicken place as well.
Is it? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been returned fairly quickly. And somebody didn't, well, they just about got it onto the playing area. I just wondered if they might have inadvertently plonked it onto the head of somebody in one of the hospitality marquees, that they've just about made it onto the playing area. But that's Jack Taylor's preferred area, you would think, here at Cheltenham. Straight mid-wicket.
Shanmugam just inspecting the ball, make sure there's no curried goat on it.
109 for 3. Taylor waits for Gorvin, or into the ground this time. It was almost a full toss. He didn't middle it. Taylor goes to 18. Webster on 14. He's unfurled that drive once, but that's really the only really aggressive shot we've seen from him.
I think this is a much better deck than we've seen at Cheltenham.
Gorvin again into Webster, who thinks he's missed out there. He's hit it into the ground, straight back to the bowler, and Gorvin does well to react, as bowlers always do off their own bowling.
Oh, yeah. You've got more to lose, haven't you? But this looks like it's coming on nicely. It's not sticking in the pitch.
Webster on 14, and that's fired just short of Carlson, who thinks about a throw at the bowler's end and then keeps the ball in his hand.
Was that a catch?
No, it was I think it may have gone into the ground first, and it didn't quite carry to Carlson anyway.
I'm not sure. I think he might have sort of scooped that up a little bit, perhaps. We've said Seaborn thought it's a catch as well, next to me from the BBC.
Smale coming in to the edge of the circle for Taylor. Gorvin goes short. It's out towards Douthwaite. Good pick up. That was an awkward bounce. He on the run came round, certainly saved his side 3 runs. If he'd have misfielded that, it would have gone for 4.
That's brilliant from Douthwaite, but absolutely superb.
Taylor at the end of the over will keep the strike. 112 for 4. 112 for 4. 10 off the over. 112 for 3. I should say, not 4. And we are going to see Labuschagne. I would have been surprised had he not had a bowl at some point. And Kieran Carlson decides that now is the time.
Yep. Can have a golden arm at times, Marnus. What's Jack Taylor going to do? I think he might go over the top of extra cover again. I think that's where he's going to fancy. Here he comes. Taylor just nurdles him into the onside. Labuschagne has a shy. And is there going to be one? No, that's good work from Carlson. Gets round and backs it up.
So he's only bowled 1 ball, but I think it is the leg spin, not the little seamers that we saw in the championship.
Yeah. That's what we expect from Labuschagne. In he comes. Webster just flicks him backward a square on the leg side.
Having
to
said that,
Douthwaite.
It is quite flat leg spin.
Yeah, it's
flatter than Crane, I would argue.
It's more Anil Kumble as opposed to Abdul Qadir, isn't it?
Without the height of Kumble.
And taller than Qadir. Maybe that's why they bowl that way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they bowl that way, because for the smaller leg spinner it's easier to get it up and down, isn't it? And above the eye line. Labuschagne to Taylor, who just nurdles that one into the onside. They're going to think about 2. Taylor turning it down, seeing it's Mason Crane, who's a good fielder. And Crane, despite fielding it on the college square, there's 2 squares here at Cheltenham, picks it up cleanly. Webster pushes that into the onside. Labuschagne throwing himself around the field. There's no overseas show pony here. He gives it 100% every game, whether he's playing for Australia or playing for Glamorgan. Taylor just turns that one around the corner again to Van der Hoogten for a single. But Labuschagne putting the brakes on here. Just gone for 4 with 1 ball left of this over. Taylor, big wind up man. Can he pick out Carlson? Dot ball to finish off, and that's really good from Labuschagne. Just 4 runs off it. 116 for 3 at the end of the 13th.
So Gloucestershire card at the moment. Men out. Hammond caught by Crane off Van der Hoogten without scoring. Bancroft caught by Douthwaite off Gorvin for 44, and Bracey caught by Crane off Gorvin for 31. Wickets falling. In Hammond's case, 4 runs have been scored, then 64 and 89. And Carlson thinks that Van der Hoogten needs to be brought back in to try and split these 2. So he's only got 1 over left. And Van der Hoogten now coming back to bowl the 14th over of the innings.
Yeah, Webster just having a change of gloves. Chris Cook still staying with his marigolds. So you a fan of Nanette Newman back in the day? There's not much soft hands being played out there in the middle.
Webster waits for Van der Hoogten and carves that for 4. Away through where about an orthodox gully would be. past Gorvin and Smale, and it'll race away for another boundary.
He gets the ball into unusual areas, Webster, doesn't he? And he does play a little bit inside out. Sometimes though they whistle through the offside, don't they? Very strong through the offside.
And with the two men on the edge of the circle there, it beats them. There's no chase that will haul that in. Van der Hoogten again. Oh, and a good bit of fielding off his own bowling. Bowled it full. Webster tried to punch it past the man with 42 T20 internationals to his name, and Van der Hoogten was having none of it.
He's well, Van der Hoogten.
Is he a fast medium? He's no more than that.
No.
Right arm over the wicket, close to the stumps, and that's four more for Webster. He's gone square this time, and nothing that Douthwaite can do about that because he's really middled it. And the short boundaries are the square ones here at the college ground, and Webster's picked up a couple of boundaries in this over. He's gone to 25.
See what Van der Hoogten's trying to do. He's trying to hit the blue line and trying to go wide and full, but you get that slightly wrong and it's a wide half volley, and there's no one better at cashing in on those than Bo Webster.
He's got a big reach with that height of his and those arms of his. He's a wide outside the off stump. This time Van der Hoogten overcooks the line. 124 for 3 in the 14th. So if you add what Hampshire got on Friday to that, you're well over 200. Except that was not a regular occurrence. 85 off the last 6. Van der Hoogten to Webster against a bit of a chop this time, spinning out to Douthwaite on the cover boundary for a single. Didn't quite time that. I did wonder actually whether we're getting to a point where we're going to see a side score 100 off the last 6 overs. Whether that's not that far away.
Or 300 in the T20.
Van der Hoogten again, and Taylor again stretches. He's improvised that, and Smale can't reach it on the chase down towards where third man would be, and it's going to go for 4. That was quite wide, but Taylor wanted to make sure he played at it. And there have been 3 boundaries in this over, and Van der Hoogten hasn't done a huge amount wrong.
Yeah, clever from Jack Taylor. Really clever.
Smale, whether Davey might have stopped it, but it was spinning away for him. Van der Hoogten to complete the over, and Taylor goes for the same shot and misses out. So Van der Hoogten has finished his spell. He's taken 1 for 32, and he's bowled a maiden in that as well. So good effort from Tim Van der Hoogten. 6 to go, and I'd be surprised if Labuschagne wasn't kept on for at least 1 or maybe even 2 more at this stage, because he really calmed Gloucestershire down in his first over. And in fact,
Gorvin.
What do I know? We're going to see Mason Crane back.
Oh, Mason Crane.
So spin again from the Chapel end, but not Labuschagne, surprisingly.
No, I'm surprised at that, but Carlson just having to just make sure the Gloucestershire batters don't get too used to one bowler. It's a great crowd here at Cheltenham. Interviewed a couple of guys in the hub before the game. Here's Crane, and Webster smashes that one, screams it through extra cover for 4 runs. Yeah, I interviewed a chap called, they're both from the LGBTQ plus community, and there's a chap called Tez, who's well known for dancing on the Gloucestershire stream, especially in T20 cricket, and he gave up and threw a few shapes in the hub. That's drilled again, going to pick out Carlson. Webster looking in the mood here, though.
Crane's giving the ball more air than Labuschagne did.
Yeah, he is. And I wonder if you do have to just push it through a little quicker on this wicket. Webster just has to watch that one and happy to pick up the one. A little bit of singing coming from one of the marquees. A bit early to be on the cider, isn't he? Looking forward to watching England later. Day of sport. Taylor goes up in the air, that's gone many a mile, almost into the chapel.
Onto the roof of the Pig and Pallet marquee.
Yeah.
Well caught, sir, as it came down.
One hand off the marquee?
Yeah.
Those are the rules, aren't they? Yeah.
50 partnership between these two.
Yeah. Crane to Taylor, and he's gone big again. That's going to be the maximum. Yeah, it goes just over the rope in front of the... Is it Martin Stovall? Andy Stovall scorebox. Andy Stovall scorebox.
Yeah. Sorry,
there. Martin Stovall.
Sorry.
Yeah. Jack Taylor. He's up for this, isn't he?
Interesting you say that you think the pitch just might be a little firmer.
Yeah. Crane, Taylor cuts, picks out point. That completes the over. 147 for 3 with 5 left. Gloucestershire have got to be looking north of 200 from here, I'd say.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Particularly with Charlesworth and Price still to come in. Most of the crowd joining in with Chris Fortune's choice of tune. They know the actions.
Ian Randall's actually doing the moves. You can't see him, we've got no GoPro on us, but let me rest assured at home, Ian Randall is doing the moves.
So Douthwaite's got 2 left. Gorvin's got 1, Douthwaite's got 2. Gorvin's got 1, McElroy's got 2. He could get away with only 1 more over of spin, potentially. Douthwaite to the tall figure of Webster, who again winds himself up, but this time it's wide of the off stump. He doesn't get a touch. Umpire Shanmugam just being questioned by Douthwaite about whether that was a wide or not. Certainly Douthwaite didn't think it was.
I'm not sure young Daniel agreed with Surendra and Shanmugam there.
Douthwaite again past the umpire who's just called him for the wide. Webster with a chop away into the offside, well fielded by Andy Gorvin, saved his side 3 runs. It would have again bounced over the rope and into the boards in front of the members down in front of us on the college balcony, but Gorvin stopped it.
Yeah, superb from Gorvin.
Only allowed him a single.
Brilliant from Gorvin. That was travelling, and Gorvin gets across.
32 and 37 for these two at the moment. And slapped by Jack Taylor away to Labuschagne. Deep backward square, 150 up. So Gloucestershire at the moment going along at nearly 10 and over. They were 61 off 6, they were 92 off 10. 6 obviously at the end of the power play. And then 147 at the end of 15. And maintaining an even tempo at the moment. Douthwaite in. Webster, that's gone off Douthwaite's boot, I think.
There's 2 there.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, he's got 2 boots, but he's only gone off one of them. And Bevan's come in, and he's prevented them taking more than 1 run. Because it's spooned into the air away at... Dan's just completely lost it. Long on. Douthwaite would have felt that. Jack Taylor now just eyeing the straight boundary towards the College Lawn car park. I did think twice today about where I parked the car. Douthwaite in, and Taylor goes into the offside. Carlson tries to throw down the stumps at the bowler's end. He misses. There's no overthrow, and Webster, I think, would have been home anyway. Yes, when I went into the car park today, I was directed by one of the stewards to a position almost behind the sight screen, and I thought, do you know what? I think I'd rather go down to the bottom end of the car park, if you don't mind.
Yeah, especially with Jack Taylor around.
Literally straight. I mean, it'd be a big hit to go that far, but I did wonder. Douthwaite, and there's a bottom hand from Jack Taylor up to Bevan at long on, and again they'll only take one. Good return in swiftly. 153 for 3.
Jack Taylor's, he's got shares in the local panel beater. He's got shares in Autoglass. He's ruined a few cars over the years, Jack Taylor.
Webster on 33. Edged and caught. You can hear the nick from here. Chris Cook takes the catch. Webster goes. But he's maintained the rate that Bracey in particular established with Bancroft earlier on. A little bit frustrated to get to 33 and then get out. But caught by Cook and gives Douthwaite a wicket, and Gloucestershire 152 for 4.
Good innings that though from Bo. Really good.
Tends not to play too many shots that you would call particularly unorthodox.
No, he's what he likes, one down the ground or one into the covers, doesn't he? And that's what he loves, and just ambling through for a single and then give the strike over to the big hitters like Taylor or this man here who's come into the wicket, Mr. Ben Charlesworth. Dominic Goodman doing his 12thers duties. He's done a lot of 12thers duties, hasn't he? The man known as Lenny.
That was the last ball of Douthwaite's over, by the way. So 152 for 4. 4 to go.
Good from Douthwaite. A wicket and just 5 runs at this stage of the game. That's really good. Jamie McElroy is back into the attack. This time from the Chapel end, started off from the College Lawn end. And Taylor goes over the top, and that is going to be 6 runs, almost straight into the back of that transit van down there.
I think somebody in front of that van tried to catch it and didn't cling on, as they say.
It's poor fielding in my book, isn't it? Getting down for catching practice down their local club.
Taylor, one more of those will go into a half century.
McElroy in. Taylor pushes one out to cover point and just ambles through for a single, which brings the left-handed Charlesworth, who I'm sure will be looking down towards that Sanford Road side.
How many deliveries does he allow himself to have a look at the bowling here?
One.
He's batting with both feet inside his crease, so he's well deep in his crease.
McElroy. Charlesworth drives handsomely through extra cover and picks out 2. Gets 2 there. Charlesworth, good running, good placement, and good fielding from Tom Bevan. I think did he make his debut in the game at Bristol? In the game last year at Bristol.
Good question.
Charlesworth just nurdles that out to deep mid wicket.
He's only played 9 T20 games.
Yeah, no, I think it might have been Kellaway. Kellaway made his debut, didn't he? The lad from Chepstow.
Yeah. He's played a bit earlier in this tournament, but not playing today.
Jack Taylor here will be eyeing up McElroy, and he's gone again, and yet again picks out that same gentleman in the crowd who yet again spills it. And quite frankly, it's just not good enough. The fielding in the crowd from the Gloucestershire fans here is just not good enough. There's Jack Taylor's 50.
5 sixes, 24 balls.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for Jack Taylor. I think he's outstanding skipper, and he's, leads from the front with the bat, and I think he's been really good in this campaign. And just is that going to be one there, or Douthwaite's round quickly? He's a good fielder. Oh, that might, Shanmugam not happy there with Douthwaite, throwing it in double bounce into Cook. One bounce is generally fine into the keeper, but when they're chucking it into the dirt deliberately, it does raise the eyebrows of the umpire.
And that's the umpire who called him for a wide, of course, in his last over from that end.
Yeah, Douthwaite does apologise.
Now,
Marnus from the Cheltenham College lawn end.
I think I'm right in saying that one of Taylor's other 50s was in the reverse fixture.
Yeah, it was.
So we're all going to be pleased to see the back of Jack Taylor this season in this format, but they haven't got rid of him yet. He's got 3 overs to wreak some more havoc potentially. 169 for 4, 3 to go. 17 off that last over from McElroy. Labuschagne from the college lawn end, and there's a cross-batted swat from Jack Taylor, and he's going to get 4 for it.
It wasn't pretty, but it was effective.
Low and flat, splitting the two fielders, one at long on and one at a deep and straight mid-wicket.
So Marnus has moved the man from backward square in front, and then the next man to him has gone to cow corner.
Labuschagne again, very short. Taylor tries to chop it away, doesn't really get much on it, goes to Ingram. And we may no doubt see later with the bat in hand. 174 for 4. Labuschagne's now got a bowl to the left-handed Charlesworth, potentially with the short leg side boundary, and the ball spinning towards that boundary from the leg spinner from the college lawn end. Charlesworth goes the opposite way, and he's spooned it in the air over Will Smale, and it will run away down the hill towards the Stamford Road stand for 4. It was a bit streaky, if we're honest, but he got away with it.
Yeah, I was expecting Charlesworth to go over mid-wicket. That's the area he likes. He likes to go offside, move his body to outside off stump and hit through mid-wicket.
Staying over the wicket, Labuschagne. Quite round arm. And
slower ball.
Charlesworth went to pull it, missed, and taken by Chris Cook. Taylor on 58 at the non-striker's end. Charlesworth goes into his crease and lobs a very easy chance off the back foot to backward point, and he departs for 7. Will Smale with the catch, and Gloucestershire lose their 5th wicket in the 18th over. That was a soft sort of dismissal.
It was, but Labuschagne's a canny operator, isn't he? And just going right to the edges of where you can bowl without being called for a wide. And
it's the 18th over. Charlesworth has got pretty much free licence because of the fact that of what those ahead of him have done.
Yeah.
178 for 5 in the 18th. Ollie Price, if you take away just 2 innings against Somerset in this competition, he's barely got a run. He's not batted very much.
No, he's been at 7.
Labuschagne to bowl to him, and he's tried to clip the first one for 6, and has he managed it? He has. Away over mid-wicket. There's a man on the rope there, Jamie McElroy, and he's just about cleared him. So a 6 off the first ball he faces for Ollie Price, and he and Jack Taylor just having a word about how they might attack these last 2 overs.
That's why he's one of the most popular blokes in the club, because he just does the unexpected, Ollie Price. And the cheer when his name was announced, he was walking to the wicket, probably the biggest cheer of the day. They love him here, Ollie Price. He's absolutely adored by the fans, the public, and as I said last year, he's the king of Cheltenham.
As dubbed by Mr. D. Whiting last year.
and allegedly by Zaman Akhtar, who does a very good impression of, by all accounts, but won't do it in front of me.
Galvin to bowl the last over from the Chapel end.
Here's Taylor about to receive, and that's pulled venomously. Oh, that's brilliant by Douthwaite. Absolutely superb.
Jack Taylor still got 2 out of that, but that was because Douthwaite was at full stretch on the dive to stop the ball going to the rope.
That's the Gloucestershire members there. That round of applause you can hear. The Gloucestershire members here giving Douthwaite that applause for an outstanding bit of fielding.
Because he had to get to his feet, he gave him that split second extra to get back for the second run.
Galvin. Taylor just plays a Surrey cut, and the ball dribbles through to Van der Hoogten.
Is that a Surrey cut as deemed by someone who follows Middlesex?
Surrey cut, Harrow cut,
Chinese cut.
Yep. I've got all those in my repertoire.
13 more needed from 10 balls to get to 200.
Galvin to Ollie Price, going to be pace off again, and that's gone up in the air. That's going to be out, I think. Carlson with the catch, and Ollie Price goes second ball for 6, but you can't blame Ollie Price there. I mean, he has to just have a slog, really, doesn't he?
You could say he might have nudged a single and given Jack Taylor the strike, but I think both batters have got free licence here.
Yeah,
Gloucestershire have got a score that's got them in the game at this point.
Certainly have. Certainly have.
Yes, they'd like another 20, but they are firmly in the game with 186 on the board, 187.
Yeah, 187 for 6 then. 9 balls to go. Matt Taylor. He likes to put bat to ball as well, doesn't he? Here's Galvin to Taylor, who cuts. Not often you see the brothers batting together. Can they get their side to 200?
2 balls left in the over. They want Jack Taylor on strike at the start of the last one.
Galvin. That's good from Galvin. Really good this over.
So 1 ball to go. I think they would decide between them that they'd like an even number off this last ball. So 2, 4 or 6 preferably. Keep Jack Taylor on strike.
And that's gone straight down the ground. It's only going to be 1, and they turn the single down. Interesting. And Galvin finishes with 4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 26. And he quite likes Cheltenham, doesn't he, Andy Galvin?
Yeah.
So, did you get a 5 for here in the county championship first innings?
Don't think he did. I think we'd have remembered if he got 5. Douthwaite's going to bowl the last over. Dan's going to flick through his incredibly comprehensive notes.
Got 1 for 40 or 15 overs in the county championship game here last year.
He did play in the championship game here this year. So I'll look up that card during the break. But Douthwaite's going to bowl the last over. Would have been bold to give it to Labuschagne, but I think that would have been an interesting choice. So 13 to get to the we'll call the Magic 200. Jack Taylor on strike. Dowthwaite to bowl to him. And that might be 6 of them. It's whipped away. A lot of bottom hand again. Is it 6 or is it 4? They're asking the fielder. It's just cleared the rope. Down in front of the old Patesians marquee. And Taylor starts exactly as you would have wanted at the beginning of this last over.
What's the old Patesian thing? Was it not the Charlton Kings, that one?
No, it says the Pats Club.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm sure that's pretty sure that's the old Patesians. Dowthwaite again to Taylor once more. That's 6 more straight down the ground. That's gone way over the top of Mason Crane on the long off boundary, fielded by one of the members, I think, down there.
Yeah, Glamorgan now need 200 if they're going to win this game.
So Taylor is absolutely hitting Dowthwaite clean as a whistle at the start of this last over. Now, his best score in T20 is 80. He's got 73. What chance of him bettering that? In the air this time, off Dowthwaite. There's a chase round for Labuschagne. He gets the ball on the bounce. They want 2, and they'll come back for it, and Taylor just about makes his ground. Umpire Alex Wolf is going to replace the bails, but 200 for Gloucestershire here at Cheltenham having been put in, and Morgan will know that they're going to need some of their really experienced batters to come off if they're going to have a chance of winning this.
Do you know why Jack Taylor's got runs? Because I was filling up my car with petrol just outside Cheltenham, and Kevin Taylor, his father, and his wife Anne just pull up next to me. So there you go, that's why Jack Taylor's got runs.
75. That's whipped away again, a lot of bottom hand in that. Well fielded, right on the rope. Bit of relay work from Glamorgan. They're going to get 2 more. That's good cricket all round there, because that was travelling. And the 2 fielders, one didn't want to slide along the boundary and possibly drag a leg over the rope. So he parried the ball in field. And Taylor was able to come back for 2. 2 balls to go. So 6-6-2-2 in this over at the moment. A good finish. Although not if you're down Dowthwaite.
No.
Taylor still batting deep in his crease. And Dowthwaite's fooled him with a very full Yorker there. Taylor's crossed.
Looks like he's praying. The chapel's that way, Jack. It's Sunday.
He probably knows. He knows, I'm sure, that his best score is 80, and he's got a chance to get past that. It doesn't happen very often when you bat where he does in the order. Last ball, Dowthwaite in, and Taylor won't get there. He might get 2 though, which will take him to 79. And he does come back for 2 off the last ball. They think about a sec. They're going to try and go for a 3rd, and he'll equal it. Well, there should never have been 3 there, really. But Taylor won't mind. He takes off his protective headgear, and he'll walk off equaling his best score in a T20, which was in that quarter-final against Durham at Bristol, where basically nobody else got any runs at all, and it was almost a single-handed effort by Taylor to get Gloucestershire anywhere close. But today he's had a bit of support round him, and Gloucestershire in the end have got to 206 for 6 off their 20 overs, and Taylor will walk off 80 not outs from 35 balls. And Taylor raises his bat as he walks off, and we'll give you the full card in a moment after perhaps an appreciation of that T20 knock from Jack Taylor from Dan Whiting.
Yeah, it's fantastic, really good. He was quite circumspect at first, quite conservative, but then he just opened up his shoulders, and I mean 80 off 35 balls takes some doing. Matt Taylor not out, and Dowthwaite finishes with 1 for 48 of 4. I think this is above par, but not a massive amount above par. I think it's a flat wicket. I think the ball's coming on nicely. Quick outfield, small ground, and I think, you know, Gloucestershire needed to put on an imposing total here, didn't they? They needed to, you know, they need to win this game, and they need to win it well as well. And Surrey and Essex, I'm sure Ian Randall will keep us updated on that score at some point in the afternoon.
I'll try and do that now, but first of all I'll give you the Gloucestershire card after they were put in by Kieran Carlson. Hammond caught Crane, bowled Von der Hoogten, no score. Bancroft caught Douthwaite, bowled Galvin, 44. Bracey caught Crane, bowled Galvin, 31. Webster caught Cook, bowled Douthwaite, 33. And then cheap wickets at the end. Ben Charlesworth caught by Smale off Labuschagne for 7. Ollie Price caught by Carlson off Galvin for 6. Matt Taylor, as you say, Dan, not out naught. Jack Taylor, 80 not out from 35 balls. The bowling figures: Von der Hoogten 4 overs 1 for 32, McElroy 3 overs for 47, Douthwaite 4 overs 1 for 48, Galvin 4 overs 3 for 26. Interesting pace off from him, more successful than the others. Crane 3 overs for 34 with his rather more flighted leg spin, and Labuschagne with his flatter leg spin, 2 overs 1 for 19. Only 5 extras, so actually overall pretty good discipline from Glamorgan in the field. And I don't really think there was you said there was a possibility of one Carlson chance. I'm not sure that carried. There was nothing obvious that they put to ground.
No, I don't. I think they fielded very well. I think, you know, Douthwaite and Galvin down in front of us here, in front of the pavilion, I thought were especially good. But I just think that Bo Webster has a pivotal role to play here. You spoke about Andy Galvin, pace off. Webster's different because he's a taller guy, goes into the pitch a little bit more. But I think he's still of the same pace, and I think that he's got a part to play in this.
So other scores, bearing in mind that Gloucestershire would want Essex and Somerset both to lose today if they're to have any chance of going into the quarter-finals. At Southampton, Hampshire 143 for 7 in the 19th over against Somerset. So struggling a bit. 2 wickets for Pretorius, 2 for Ball and 2 for Leach in that innings. So Somerset not looking at chasing an awfully big score, but at Southampton, you never know, sometimes the pace goes out of them later on. And Surrey are 184 for 9 against Essex at Chelmsford with 2 balls to go of their innings. Will Jacks made 86 of those, and wickets again shared: 3 for Harmer, 2 for Critchley and 2 for Paul Walter. So both the sides that Gloucestershire would want to lose are going to be chasing totals. Arguably Essex one a little bit more difficult, but ultimately they have to then make sure they win the game here at Cheltenham as convincingly as they can to keep a mathematical chance alive.
Yeah, I don't think that's Chelmsford can be a graveyard for bowlers, can't it? Small ground, especially straight down the ground towards the newly crowned Graham Gooch and the newly crowned Sir Alistair Cook ends, as known to us as the Hayes Close and the River End back in the day. But anyway, we're going to take a short break. We'll suggest you do back at home, and we'll be back with you in about 5 minutes.
the umpires heading out towards the middle, and Gloucestershire defending 206 for 6 here. And as my colleague Ed Seymour quite rightly said, that because Jack Taylor was out in that Durham game in 2016 when he made 80, technically 80 not out is an improvement on his previous best in this format. So Will Smale and Kieran Carlson are the opening batters for Glamorgan. They only have one left-hander in Colin Ingram in their batting lineup today.
He's a dangerous customer though, Ingram.
Undoubtedly. You don't score 8,500 runs in this format unless you know what you're doing.
No, he's a decent operator. Cook's a good player as well in this, and Marnus. So, you know, I think it's a decent score by Gloucestershire, but I don't think it's, you know, massively imposing. I think it's, with this short boundary, a little chip shot down there can be 6 runs.
But you cannot afford, as Gloucestershire found against Middlesex, to get stuck in the blocks.
No, you can't. Although saying that, they were 7 for 1 after 2 overs, Gloucestershire today.
Here's David Payne to open up from the College lawn end. In to bowl to skipper Carlson, who plays that out on the offside. There is Josh Shaw limbering up at... he's arguably at sort of a fly slip, really, just on the edge of the circle. Matt Taylor at point, Webster at extra cover, Bancroft in at a short cover for Payne, and it's chopped away by Carlson down towards a sliding Ollie Price and in front of the players' dugouts.
Yeah, good from Ollie Price.
Take one.
And to make a lot of ground out there. All spinning away from him.
Now Will Smale, brother of Sophia, who opens the batting and bowls some left-arm spin for Western Storm. He's only had one significant score in the competition this season. Waits for Payne, and he'll get off the mark here. Again, Ollie Price doing well to stop that down in front of the second member stand. Long throw in, and they'll come back for 2. Tall figure, Will Smale. Can keep wicket, but obviously didn't do so today. Where's Hammond? Hammond is at mid-off. Anything in the air close to him, fans will be definitely keeping their eyes on the game after what happened in the Middlesex match. Chopped away by Smale. Payne again goes outside the off stump. He'll get one more.
Yeah, Hammond no longer a boundary rider, is he? They used the 2 young whippersnappers, Price and Charlesworth, to do that job this season.
Payne staying over the wicket. That's down the leg side. It was signalled as a wide. Tom Smith is the fielder at short fine leg, but they won't get a run other than the extra. Yeah, Payne and Matt Taylor, the 2 big wicket takers for Gloucestershire in this tournament. Matt Taylor 20, Payne 21. I think Luke Holman now has 22. He's the leading wicket taker in the tournament. He's playing for the side who are down the bottom in Middlesex. Here is Payne again, played all right into his pad by Carlson. Couldn't get that's hit him probably on the calf, actually, behind where there would be any normal protection there. He'll have a bruise there later on.
Yeah, well, these cricketers who, you know, do well in the blast, sometimes they put themselves into the shop window of the 100.
Sorry, what's that competition? Payne to complete the first over. It's a better length, bit better direction, and just 5 off the opener. Yes, a reminder that the 100 is the one that's played behind the Metro Bank Cup. Is that right?
That's the one, yeah. Ian Randall thinks the Welsh Fire is something that happened to his Pembrokeshire holiday home back in the 1980s.
Couldn't afford to buy a property then. Josh Short will open up from the chapel end, back in the team today, in place of Marchand de Langer.
Yeah, good to see Josh back. He's probably people still sticking pins into him in Cardiff, into effigies of Josh Shaw after that 6 to win the game at Sapphire Gardens a few weeks ago. Here he comes, bustling in. Oh, that's a good delivery to Smale. Smale just hangs the bat out of that one.
Got Bancroft in at slip too there.
Yeah.
And Jack Taylor at short third man as well. So do you think that's perhaps they think that Smale's going to use the pace of the ball just to steer it rather than club it away?
Yeah, I think, judging by what they've seen in the first over, everything's backward a point, isn't it? Yes. Tries to nerdle that one into the onside. He's only going to pick up one as Ollie Price comes in off the boundary.
Some of the crowd have gone for some refreshment, I think. If you're not a regular T20 watcher, that it's meant to be 15 minutes between the innings, but it very rarely is.
It's the only break we get in.
It's a short game now.
Sure. Again, that's played backward a square. Charlesworth out there on the boundary.
Not much joy for him with the bat today, but he came in quite late on.
Those listeners to the stream will be pleased to know that Ian Randall and I will be doing the one-day cup commentary for Gloucestershire.
For the home games at Bristol.
For the home games at Bristol.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 5 home games.
4.
4 home games. Got that right, and that is a quality bit of television. And that's not a wide, because Smale tries to get a little bit funky, goes offside and tries to ramp it over Tom Smith at short fine. Doesn't hit any of it, and the ball just goes over the top of the stumps.
I don't know who those games are against. I think it's Essex.
Essex, Sussex, Warwickshire and Leicestershire.
I knew that Leicester and Sussex were in there.
Shaw in. That's well bowled. This is good from Josh Shaw. Just 2 off the first 5 deliveries.
I would say he is. It sounds weird to say he's not bowling at the stumps. I don't think he is. I think he's
pushing it.
He's bowling it, trying to hit it on, pitch it and get it to go literally right up against that blue marker.
Yeah.
Which is between, for Smale, the off stump and the edge of the crease.
Yeah, it's a guideline, isn't it, for the umpire, a wide guideline. Slower ball, well bowled. That's really good from Josh Shaw. Just 2 off the over. Glamorgan are 7 without loss. Exactly the same as Gloucestershire were at this stage.
Yeah, that's just, if exposing is the right word, it's bowling at the inexperienced batter and keeping him pinned on the strike. So Carlson will now have to see if he can pick up the momentum once again. David Payne to come in from the College lawn end, and Carlson, well, he tried to really club that away over deep mid-wicket. He got the bottom inside half of the bat on it, and it's skewed really down to Ben Charlesworth at deep square for a single. And what that means is that now Payne is going to bowl to Smale. Morgan want Carlson on strike, really. Smale 4 off 7 at the moment. Payne to bowl to him, and he's bowled. Bit frustrated, the young man, and Payne bowling, in his case, at the stumps, and that's wicket number 22 of the season in this format. And one young batter, with Smale departing, replaced by another in Tom Bevan.
Yeah, it's scoreboard pressure there, doing for Will Smale. if you're chasing over 200, you have to have a decent power play. And being on 8 when you're into the 3rd over of the power play, I mean, someone's got to get on with it.
Well, this is where Gloucestershire struggled against Middlesex, wasn't it? Hammond and Bancroft couldn't get Cornwall in particular away, and there's a potential here of Glamorgan having the same issue.
Our friend Troy from BBC Wales is ringing out Reed as it comes over and singing along to it. And meanwhile, Ian Randall and I, we're still here.
Good straight ball from Payne, accounting for Smale, and Bevan gets off strike by getting a leg by off his first delivery. Gloucestershire 206 for 6, 80 not out from Jack Taylor, dominating the back half of the innings. Useful contributions from Bancroft and Webster, and something to be Bracey as well earlier on. Payne then to Carlson in the 3rd over. Glamorgan's only 9 for 1. And was that Carlson questioning whether that was a waist high full toss. Umpire Shanmugam says no.
No, it wasn't, and quite frankly, it should have been put over into the Sanford Road side of the ground, into those marquees.
Carlson was surprised by it. Ended up just literally patting it 2 yards back down the pitch. Very pleasant sunny afternoon at Cheltenham, and Carlson is appealed on the LBW, and Payne's got another wicket. And it's the skipper as well. That's an important one. He goes LBW. Umpire Shanmugam raising the finger. 23rd wicket for David Payne. Takes him out on his own now in terms of wickets for the season in this competition.
Gone ahead of Holman.
Gone ahead of Holman. And Glamorgan 2 down, but the dangerous Labuschagne coming in at number 4.
Yeah. From, well, he's a Queenslander, isn't he, Labuschagne, but from north of New South Wales to South Wales, where his career's taken him. But Carlson, you know, he chewed up 8 balls there in the power play. Not ideal, really, is it?
And he got hit on the back leg as well, so not a difficult one for umpire Shanmugam to give. Labuschagne then Payne in his 2nd over. And bowls to me. He's confident enough to let that go. So 2 overs, 2 for 6 for David Payne. And typical of what he's been doing in the tournament for Gloucestershire. 9 for 2 off 3, and with both the openers already gone, there's going to be a change of bowling now at the Chapel end. Shaw often only has one over at the start, doesn't he? And Matt Taylor to replace him.
Yeah, they've done that all season. The Pig and Pallet marquee is one of the more boisterous areas of the ground. Glamorgan were over there in their droves last year, and Labuschagne leaving that one to the cry of no run from them. Here's Matt Taylor, and that's played out to deep square leg where Ollie Price does the fielding.
If you're looking at the stream and wondering who is who of the 2 batters, they're both right-handers. Bevan is the one with the lighter helmet. He's got very much the canary yellow. Labuschagne's is the darker one.
Taylor, Labuschagne pulls. Ollie Price again involved in the action. Keeps them to 1.
It's almost a mustard yellow, isn't
It
it?
is. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say
Labachane's?
it's like not quite an amber, but it's
No.
it's like a yeah. It's not far off.
The company I used to work for used to have vehicles of that colour.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Taylor in. Bevan defends good from Bancroft. Attacks it. Stops the single from happening, even though the ball goes out to Jack Taylor, because Bancroft's coming across there. You can't take the run. Yeah, whereas Bevan's helmet is sort of more the colour of possibly the marquees here at Cheltenham, isn't it? Or most of the marquees.
Yeah, canary yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, pushed out. Again, picks out the tall, imposing Tasmanian Bo Webster at short extra cover. This is good here from Gloucestershire, just squeezing this. And I think we're going to see a big swing. Any ball now. There we go. Over the top of extra. That's going to run away down that hill. Miles Hammond can't catch that. But it was a matter of time. Someone's got to actually put their foot to the pedal, haven't they, for Glamorgan?
Well, I know we've mentioned it before, but you can get stuck horribly in the power play such that the rate just accelerates away from you.
Taylor. That's got to be close. Not given by umpire Alex Wolf, and they could have run a leg by there. Marnus didn't seem to fancy it. And at the end of the 4th, Glamorgan are 15 for 2.
Yeah, this is shades of Gloucestershire last week against Middlesex, isn't it? Where they got horribly stuck. And David Payne's had 2 overs. He's going to be just taken out of the attack, and Josh Shaw's coming back. But a change of ends for him.
But I tell you what, if you get Labuschagne out for a low one, you'll hear the cheers echoing all over Cleeve Hill in the distance.
Still a slip in. Shaw to Labuschagne, who squeezes that again with the right hand coming into play. Up to Jack Taylor at mid-on. The field for Shaw, he's got a deep backward point on the fence. Ollie Price is down in front of the dugouts there, and he's got Charlesworth at deep square leg. Short fine leg, short third man, and a slip in. 3-second one on the offside, and just Jack Taylor at mid-on in front of square on the leg side. That's down the leg side from Shaw, but not given as a wide by umpire Sean Muga.
Down the leg side, he played a missed, I think. It's hard to tell from our commentary position.
Yeah, we're absolutely right. The way that Bracey took it suggested to me that he went inside the ball.
Josh Shaw's bowling very well, though.
15 for 2 in the 5th, chasing 207. Looks a long way away at the moment. Labuschagne just dabs that gently out into the offside. They'll take 1. Webster's bowled a lot from the chapel end in this festival. Both white and red balls, so you would expect that will be the end he would choose. Bevan on 5. Shaw turns the end of his run. Sprints in and bowls, and Bevan again goes down the ground, but only to Jack Taylor at mid-on. Again, it's only 1 run. Only 2 balls left in the over. Crowd have gone quite quiet. I think they're attentive to this start because they know it's important. If Gloucestershire jam the brakes on the Glamorgan chase, then they just have to take more and more risk.
Yeah.
Shaw to Labuschagne, who goes for the scoop. Bancroft tries to run him out at the non-striker's end. He scampers through. It's didn't even come off the bat, it was only a leg by. Bancroft didn't hit the stumps anyway, Jack Taylor was backing up. And Glamorgan can't break the infield at the moment.
It's a
unusual to have a slip in the 5th over.
Certainly is, but Josh Shaw's just gone for 4 runs from 11 balls.
Shaw again, slower ball, skied up in the air by Bevan, should be caught. Matt Taylor underneath it, takes the catch, running back from short third man. Bevan just conscious that he had to get on with it. Got a thick outside edge. Tricky one for Taylor, but at least he was retreating and looking at the ball as it was coming towards him rather than coming over his shoulder. And he's taken the catch, and Glamorgan 3 down.
Yeah, it's never easy when you're backpedaling across those used wicket ends on the college square. It's not easy at all, but Matt Taylor, safe as houses underneath that. And Josh Shaw deserves that. I think he's been outstanding.
Colin Ingram, the new man for Glamorgan. So if they're going to have any chance, these two and Chris Cook, you would think, are going to need to be the scorers of a good percentage of their runs.
Yeah, this is turning into a nightmare of a power play though for Glamorgan. Gloucestershire were 20 runs in front at this stage with just 1 wicket lost, and that's what scoreboard pressure does to you. Matt Taylor to Labuschagne, is out! Labuschagne goes, caught and bowled, Matt Taylor, and I think the end could be nigh.
That's what we thought when Middlesex were at this sort of level, and they pulled that round, but they're not. That was batting first when they didn't have a target to chase.
Yeah.
But Labuschagne off a leading edge, really angry with himself, but awareness from Matt Taylor.
And under pressure comes out from the DJ.
And what of course it also means is that Matt Taylor and David Payne are having their own competition to be the leading wicket taker in this tournament.
They certainly are.
So Payne up to 23 with his 2 today, and Matt Taylor up to 21, level with Luke Holman.
Yeah, really good from the Gloucestershire seamers. So Middlesex's seamers bowl really well here on Thursday, and Gloucestershire just look like they've, just learnt a little bit perhaps.
But 4 wickets down in the power play, you don't win many games from that position.
Not when you're chasing 207. Taylor to Cook, who cuts out, picks out Payne at backward point.
Well, we saw yesterday what one batter can do. Michael Pepper got the highest score in the tournament this summer, and somebody's got to do that for Glamorgan to get them close here.
They have, but Ingram and Cook are the two who, if one of these goes, I think Glamorgan's chances go with them. Taylor in, that's got to be close. Alex Wolf, oh, I thought he was going to give it. His hand was in the holster. He's gone up, his hand has moved.
Spinning himself, spinning a coin in his hand, I think.
Do you think so?
He was, to the supporters who are watching, either head on to Alex Wolf or side on, they would have thought that there was a chance he was firing Colin Ingram there.
Taylor, no, he's got a bat on that one. He's got a bat on that. 2 noises.
Well, the last 2 overs in the power play for Gloucestershire have been over 5 and over 6. Look like they're being really successful for them. They've got 2 wickets for only 4 runs from the last 10 balls.
Bit high, I think, that LBW shout. And again, Ingram gets a leading edge, but doesn't go aerial this time. Yeah, it was a little bit high. But you can see Yannick's hand move there. I thought he was going to guess that. I thought it was going to be like the old Rudy Kurtzen, you know, the slow, lingering kill. $19 for 4. Matt Taylor. In, that's gone up in the air. I think that's going to go away for 4. I think it's going to kick on and go away down that hill. It does. And Glamorgan finished the power play on 23 for 4. Gloucestershire at this stage was 61 for 1.
Yeah, there's the difference. And there will be quite a cheer now, I think, because we're going to see Tom Smith bowl for the first time at this Cheltenham Festival and the first time in a home match this season. He's had injury troubles, as we know, but Smith 3 wickets at Southampton on Friday, and now back in the side and with the ball in hand.
Yeah, great to see Smudge back. He's a very popular man. And he's a damn good commentator as well, Ian. Came on as a replacement for you.
Thanks.
And
took a wicket.
He took a wicket at his first ball.
Here is Smith, left arm around the wicket and hit by Cook straight to Webster at short cover.
His very first ball of commentary was an absolutely stunning catch from Ajit Singh Dale at Bristol.
Long on and long off out. Smith around the wicket. And that's forced past Webster. They'll get 1. They take it 1 on the Jack Taylor arm. They will. He's got ground to make up and they'll come back for 2.
Yeah, Taylor had to run round that one.
That's the longer straight boundaries here at Cheltenham, shorter square boundaries. So Smith will encourage them to go down the ground, you would think. Cook goes for the sweep, it's in the air. Matt Taylor might take this as well, and he does. Smith punches the air in joy at another wicket, another catch from Matt Taylor. He's tried to sweep that on a reverse sweep, with Smith coming round the wicket, and Gloucestershire have Glamorgan 5 down in the 7th over, and if Glamorgan aren't careful this could crumble away very quickly.
Yeah, certainly could. Just getting nothing on that top edge, and the fans are already singing down there.
25 for 5.
Yeah. Never mind the Welsh male voice choir. It's the Gloucester fans who are singing here at the moment.
Dan Dithwaite in at number 7, rather earlier than he would have anticipated. To follow him, Von der Hugten, Crane, Gorvin and McElroy. You wouldn't bet your house on...
That's Tom. If that wicket there, there's Tom Smith showing his experience. He could see Cook was looking to reverse him, so he's pushed it even further wider off stump, and that's why Cook got the top edge.
Yeah, it's basically these two or nothing, you feel. Back of a length from Smith. Dithwaite goes in deep into his crease and plays it a little bit in the air, actually, all the way up in the end to Bancroft at long on for a single. But I mean, even if they hadn't lost more than, say, 1 wicket at this point, Glamorgan are so far behind the clock. You can see the rate is nearly up to 14 already. Smith just wanting Ollie Price to go a bit squarer for the left-handed Ingram. And he's going to go over the wicket. And Ingram with a little steer once more. And Matt Taylor almost had another chance of a catch off a little toe-ender from Ingram. Spooned round the corner.
You can't keep these Taylors out the game today, can you?
Matt Taylor at short, fine leg, just on the edge of the circle, not that far from picking up a third catch. Ingram takes 2. He is capable. Smith into bowl to him, and he goes down the ground. That'll be 6. No need to chase that. That's gone on to the roof of the marquee. And Ingram, I think, is absolutely aware that he's got to gamble. He's got to gamble straight away. And if it comes off for a while, well, at least he might get Glamorgan some respectability. But at the moment, their card has a horrible look to it. They're 5 down. We've only had 7 overs.
Yeah, good shot there by Ingram, using his feet, coming to the pitch of the ball. And proper cricket shot. Bo Webster's going to come into the attack, the man who just bowls wicket to wicket.
So that's 6 meant that Smith's over cost 11. But he's still got a wicket.
So already at this stage of the game, Glamorgan are 33 runs behind Gloucestershire, having lost 3 more wickets, and it's going to be very, very difficult. But Ian, if Lazarus can come back, anyone can, can't they?
And whilst Ingram is there, they would still have the possibility of somebody making a big score.
Webster to Douthwaite. Nicely driven. Good work by Charlesworth out on that cover boundary. Ball runs away down there very quickly.
I'm just trying to give a bit of balance here. Douthwaite does have 2 50s in this format, so he's not a mug, but Ingram has the weight of runs that the Morgan supporters might think, okay, if he bats to the close,
yeah.
And
T20, one person can win your game.
Well, Michael Pepper proved that yesterday.
Michael Pepper. Yeah.
He was doing as his name suggested.
Peppering the advertising boards around the ground. Yeah, old clubmate of Zaman Akhtar here at Gloucestershire, up at Cambridge Granter Cricket Club in the East Anglian Premier League. Good mates as well. I think they might have been in touch last night, possibly.
Webster wanted a disc to put by his bowling marker.
Here he comes. And again, slower ball. Just one out to Ollie Price. Jack Taylor won't mind ones. Ones are fine.
If Gloucestershire are going to win, and I guess we'll obviously give you news at the end of what's happening in the other games, then the margin of victory is important.
Certainly is. Webster to Douthwaite, an appeal for LBW, not given. It was a polite inquiry, really. And ball dribbles out to the offside, no run taken because Jack Taylor is smartly onto it. 36 for 5, Douthwaite 2. Ingram's got 13 from 7, but somebody needs to start motoring for Glamorgan. That's played nicely out to long off where Bancroft does the fielding.
The news is not looking good from elsewhere at the moment.
Okay.
Somerset 55 for no wicket in the 6th over, chasing 158, and Essex 63 for 1 in the 7th, chasing 190.
Webster, that's going to be 4 runs down there. Square the wicket down that hill towards the Sanford Road side of the ground. And Webster just getting his length wrong. He hasn't bowled many bad balls in this Vitality Blast campaign.
Well, Ingram's the only man in double figures so far for Glamorgan. All their other batters have been dismissed. Single figure scores.
Webster goes out to Ollie Price. That's a single, 42 for 5 at the end of the 8th.
Men out for Glamorgan so far. Carlson, LBW to Payne 3, Smale bowled, Payne 4, Bevan caught, Matt Taylor bowled Shaw 6, Labuschagne caught and bowled by Matt Taylor for 2, and Cook caught by Matt Taylor off Smith for 3. And in the Gloucestershire innings, Jack Taylor made an unbeaten 80. Bancroft 44, Bracey 31, Webster 33 had all given a bit of a platform for Taylor to unleash the attack later on.
Gentleman down below us wearing the England 1982 World Cup squad shirt. We are Ron's 22.
To do Ron, you mean? Smith spins himself a catch, starts his second over to the left-handed Ingram, who was going to really try and launch that, and he's ended up playing a little stab sort of shot out into the onside, and Ollie Price keeps him down to a single. I think he changed his mind about that ball when it was in the air. Wasn't quite there to play the shot he wanted to.
Yeah, Smith makes people do that though, doesn't he?
Douthwaite comes round the wicket to the right-hander, and it's given us a wide by umpire Shan Mugam. Ollie Price fielding with two of his fingers strapped together.
He's had strapping on for a long time, for about a month, I think, Ollie. Both hands.
Yes, yeah.
But some players just strap their hands for protection.
Smith trots in, and Douthwaite nearly gives a caught and bowled away, but it was just directed to the right of Smith. He couldn't reach it, and Douthwaite would get one, but Gloucestershire should be no problem with Glamorgan just ticking off singles at this point. We're in the 9th over. They've only got 45. The rate is nearly treble that. Ingram, ooh, that was a hoik. Way out to wide long on. He didn't really middle that at all. There's no fielder on the leg side saving the single, so there's one whenever he wants it, but he doesn't want singles. He wants more than that.
Yeah, he needs more than that.
He's got 20. Douthwaite currently on 4. Waits for Smith, and he's got a lot of bottom hand in that. Again, it's gone out to the fielder. Long on. I think he's Bancroft out there. Quickly gets his throw back in, and they can pick up a single. Hammond has been a peripheral figure today. He got a duck, and the ball seems to have gone anywhere but where he is.
It's unusual. He's normally at the heart of the action. Miles Hammond.
Smith back over the wicket to Ingram, and he's bowled him. That might be the key wicket. Smith celebrates. Ingram trying to paddle him onto the onside, didn't pick the length, and Glamorgan, if they haven't collapsed already, they may not be far from one. And Gloucestershire could be, and I haven't got this figure in my head, about their biggest margin of victory in terms of runs in a T20 match. Glamorgan, 46 for 6.
Yeah, it's yet again scoreboard pressure, and Colin Ingram is the man who's gonna, well, he plays that way naturally, doesn't he? But he had to get on with it, and maybe the ball's not quite there, and Tom Smith just using his experience, and he adds massive value, I think, to white ball sides at Gloucestershire. He might be 37 in a month's time, Tom Smith, but he's still got it. He's still got that nous, that je ne sais quoi, as the French say.
We've just seen a rerun of the wicket, and that ball might have actually just even drifted a little bit in the air. It was absolutely pinned on off stump. So, you miss, I hit.
Yeah.
Von der Hoogten is the new batsman. Smith around the wicket, and he goes back and punches that away to Ollie Price on the deep cover boundary, and he got them a single. And Smith has taken 2 wickets in 2 overs, and Gloucestershire absolutely in the pound seats at the moment.
Certainly are.
And they would like to wrap this up as quickly as they could. To really get a really convincing victory for what would be their 6th of the season if they can see this out now. Frankly, it would be amazing if they didn't.
Homage to Jude Bellingham coming out on the... And that's played backward a square, well fielded by Matt Taylor.
Of course, you'll know this, Dan, because you're an astute follower of both the small ball in the summer and the rather bigger ball in the winter.
Go on.
Jude Bellingham, his dad played for Cheltenham.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
He did.
Didn't know that.
Yep. Not for very long, but he did.
Webster. Peel for LBW, it's high though. Oh, he's given it. He's given it. Alex Wolf has given it. I mean, that look, we're side on here, and I think Van der Hoogten has got been a little bit unlucky there.
Perhaps Mr. Wolf fancies watching the football tonight. He's got a long journey home. Tim Voxington looks rather rueful as he walks away. And certainly, to us, we are side on here, and therefore the one thing that, whilst it's difficult to tell whether a batter is in line or not, height is the one thing you can judge.
Yeah.
And Van der Hoogten has just, I think, he was chewing gum when he walked out to bat, and he's just spat it out of his mouth and hit it away with his bat. And that tells you what he thinks of that decision. Oh dear.
Yeah, Glamorgan rocking here.
I don't think you'd be wanting to pick a conversation with Tim Van der Hoogten at the moment.
48 for 7. Yeah, it's him above, right? I think it's even him above the pad. You know, hey. Mason Crane comes in. Webster 1 for 8 off 8 balls. Shows what an old-fashioned phrase you just used, actually. And I'll come on to it after this ball from Webster as Crane defends. In the pound seats, tickets for tonight's final, I believe, are going at £500 plus, even at face value. Or they were. I mean, obviously it's sold out.
I think you could have paid £1,000 to get a plane yesterday.
Yeah. Wimbledon, I believe, are £400 plus for today's men's tennis final. Webster to Crane. That's just nipped back. No run.
James Healy's put a couple of replays up of that decision for Wharf. He was quite a long way back in his crease, and it might just have hit the top of the pad, but perhaps Alex Wolf's only judgment was there was no distance for the ball to go to climb any further.
Yeah. Webster in, and Payne gloves that one to Taylor. Yeah, and friends of mine went to Lord's in the week and just paid a mere 120 quid for a seat for England versus West Indies, day one. So it goes to show how good value, Cheltenham or Bristol is. Gloucestershire. That's well bowled by Webster. 49 for 7 at the halfway stage. But yeah, it goes to show what good value, and tickets are available on the Gloss website, aren't they, for the one-day cup games? And I think that represents fantastic value, because one-day cup, you get to see both sides bat, both sides bowl. It's a full day's cricket, and we're better than Bristol. So get on the Gloss website, get your tickets for the one-day cup.
And I would also say that a lot of the matches over the last 2 or 3 years, you've seen often 500 runs or more in a day.
Yeah, you have. You have.
Smith to continue, unsurprisingly. A wicket in each of his first 2 overs. And he's got Mason Crane to bowl to. Outside the off stump, Crane lets it go. Yeah, those who've given up their Saturday afternoon to watch Gloucestershire's last day at the festival, I think will be pretty pleased with what they've seen so far. That's Crane just trying to chop that away down towards where their third man would be. Doesn't get a a touch onto it, taken by Bracey. There's no pressure on Smith here at all. Turn by Crane into the onside. They'll take one. Josh Shaw comes off the fence at deep square. That's all there'll be. 50 up for Glamorgan. The merest ripple.
The irony
of applause.
The irony of the Gloucestershire crowd.
50 for 7 in the 11th over. Oh, and again, a wide actually by umpire Shan Mugham from Matt Smith as he tries to get Douthwaite to reach outside the off stump, but just pushed it too wide. Smith in bright sunshine. In a risky shot from Douthwaite, only gets him one run. Out onto the deep mid-wicket boundary. Gloucestershire were peppering the boundary earlier on today. You didn't see a game unfolding like this, and Crane again will get another single up to Bancroft, comes in off the boundary off long on. The game's almost been played at walking pace at the moment.
Yeah, it's over as a contest. Glamorgan aren't going to get 154 off 9 with 3 wickets left.
Smith in. Douthwaite just punts it into the ground. Smith fields over his own bowling. If they do, Dan Whiting will cycle to the next Gloucestershire home game in Bristol from his house, dressed as Alfred. That's quite a long way, by the way.
120 miles.
Yeah, so there we are.
And I'd have to take the A4 rather than the M4.
You just don't see it at the moment.
No. Webster in. Played out to mid-off. There's a chance for a run out here. Oh, that was close. Bancroft. I think that was gone. If that hit, I think Crane would have been toast.
Well, this is the 12th over, and we've only seen a 6 and 3/4 from Glamorgan.
Yep. Webster, Hoik, and ball dribbles out to Matt Taylor, and they scamper through for, there's an inside edge, no run.
Payne 2 for 6 in 2 overs, Shaw 1 for 4 in 2 overs, Matt Taylor 1 for 11. Tom Smith's taken 2 for 21 in 3, and Webster 1 for 8 at the start of this over.
That's just played into the ground, and Bracey has a shy now. James Bracey with his glove off probably sends shivers down the spines of Glamorgan fans after that tie here a few weeks ago. It actually wasn't that long ago, was it? It feels like a lifetime ago. So much has happened since then in the Vitality Blast, but it's actually only 2 weeks ago, isn't it?
It's a week and a half, in fact.
Yeah. Webster in. Again, the ball just dribbles out. They can't get Webster away. Just bowling heavy balls into the pitch. And
that's what people have found in this competition, haven't they? He's difficult to score heavily off. You might not feel as if you're going to get out to him, but he's trying to block up one end effectively.
Yeah, he is. He's miserly. Again, that's down the leg side there, I think, as ball goes out to mid-wicket. Bracey goes and fields it from behind the stumps out to wide mid-on. 58 for 7 now. Douthwaite's got 8 off 11 balls. Crane 4 off 10. And again, someone needs to put bat to ball here. There's one of them. That's gone out to Miles Hammond at deep mid-wicket.
Just get the impression that they're not reading Webster's pace at all. I think it was almost too early on that, wasn't he?
It's like me with War and Peace, or like, you know, a nice bit of Dostoevsky or Chekhov, reading it about as well as I do in those books.
Jack Taylor indicating about a bowling change possibly coming at the Chapel End next over, but they're going to have one at the College lawn end. Josh Shaw with Thomas Smith 3 overs 2 for 21, removed from the attack, and Shaw coming back from the College lawn end. Yes, the Metrobank Cup this year quite condensed. I think all 8 matches within about 3 weeks. Shaw in. Oh, Davitt's hit that very high in the air. Is that going to go for 6? It's going to be caught. It's going to be caught right on the rope. Douthwaite goes. I think that's Webster out there. He was right on the rope and just indicated he was looking into the sun. It wasn't the easiest one to take, but Shaw has another wicket. And at times during this campaign, and I know some of the chances are difficult, both these two teams have been guilty of shelling chances they would expect to take, and today Gloucestershire have caught everything.
So, well, Glamorgan, there's maybe that one for Carlson, perhaps, but we're not sure if that was a bum ball or... In fact, Josh Shaw is on a hat-trick.
Yeah, split across 2 overs. Andy Gorvin to come in at number 10. And Shaw with a chance of a hat-trick. It's a matter of time now. It's not a matter of who wins this game, but when Gloucestershire win it. So Gorvin to face Shaw's hat-trick delivery, and he's rather spoilt things by steering it down to fine leg in front of the scoreboard to Matt Taylor for a single.
Andy Gorvin, you spoil sport.
Robbie Stevenson, club photographer, just sprinting down towards the dugouts just in case there was a reaction to a hat-trick delivery from there. Shaw though to Crane, again, punches that no great force out into the onside, and Hammond, who we've mentioned very little as you said, does the fielding, keeps them down to a single. These two sides meet again in the Metrobank
at Cardiff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've played each other in all 3 formats this season. Sure. It's time Gorvin uses his feet, but doesn't get any power on the shot. It's just dribbles out to Ollie Price on the edge of the circle. They'll come through for one because Price was coming in to meet the ball from the edge of the rope at cover point. 62 for 8. It's been a very odd game in that regard. There was a debate I think you even said, Dan, it was maybe only 20 or 30 runs above par. Maybe only 20 runs above par, you thought, and yet that now looks an absolute nonsense, doesn't it?
What do I know? What do I know? Don't ask me.
And we are at least now going to see, I'm sure, a third Gloucestershire home win. Only 2 home wins so far. The first game against Essex at Bristol, and the home game against Somerset. Shaw past umpire Shanmugam, and again Crane defends, and Shaw's taken 2 for 7 in 3 overs.
Yeah, outstanding from the burly Yorkshireman. Really good. Alfred just going around the ground doing what they call a scatter blast, where they fire all sorts of goodies into the crowd. Alfred the Gorilla, Gloucestershire mascot. Always causing a spot of bother in my book, Ian, that chap.
Elsewhere, Somerset 100 for 1 in the 12th. They need 58 more to beat Hampshire. Essex 104 for 3 in the 13th. Need 86 off 7 to beat Surrey. That might be more of Gloucestershire's route, potentially.
Matt Taylor. That's going to go for 6, I think. Yes. Andy Gorvin, where's that come out of? Hello.
Well, nothing to lose from here. It's a pretty small sample size. Gorvin hasn't got a significant score in this format. Matt Taylor will probably change the strategy. Maybe go fuller here.
Taylor in. That's in the air. That lands tantalisingly short of David Payne. And Paul Walters just out, I believe, in that game for Essex, which is a big blow because he's a dangerous customer. Gets his long levers going, old tall Paul.
Essex, like Gloucestershire, only got one game left, I think, after today. But it's on the day after Gloucestershire play.
I think it'll be like, the old football days with the crazy gang. Essex will, turn the heating right up in the changing rooms, cold showers, and make life as miserable as possible. Because Gloucestershire, although they're playing Middlesex, they're playing at Chelmsford. There's one just dribbles out into the leg side.
And I think Essex's last game is at Southampton.
Well, that's not an easy place to go. That's definitely not an easy place to go. If Somerset qualify, I think fair play, because they've beaten Surrey on Friday night and they've gone away to Southampton. That's gone through to Bracey for a dot ball. Gone away to Southampton and probably going to pick up a victory there, which is a very hard place to go. So, if Somerset do qualify, fair play. It's not often that I praise that lot. And even less often that you do, Ian. Taylor in, that's in the air, and again falls short of the fielder rushing in from the leg side. This time Miles Hammond, but I think Taylor's going to test these two out with a short ball and see what happens.
It's got the important wicket though of Labuschagne earlier in the afternoon, and 2 catches.
That's the big one. Taylor in, that's short, and Miles Hammond picks it up, throws it into the gloves of Bracey. So 72 for 8 at the end of the 14th, and this game is just drifting to an inevitable conclusion.
Yeah, interesting that I saw the report on the Glamorgan game against Middlesex, and they said that it was Luke Holman who in a 10-over game who put the lid on the Glamorgan scoring. Here, arguably, it's the wickets that have kept Glamorgan right at the under the pump, so to speak, for this match, because when you're 34 for 5, there isn't really much wriggle room, is there?
No, certainly isn't.
So Smith getting ready to potentially bowl his last over, but David Payne is going to come back. He only bowled 2 at the outset. Payne to Crane, who tries to steer that down again through the third man region, doesn't get a touch.
Yeah, Payne to Crane. Glamorgan, they're in a world of pain. 72 for 8 here at the college ground. Cheltenham.
It was a low-scoring match against Glamorgan a few years back. I think both sides were bowled out for under 90. My memory might be fading me there. Payne in and chopped away for a single by Crane to Ollie Price. No, I mean, he's correct that. I think Glamorgan got bowled out cheaply and Gloucestershire won the match by 10 wickets. But it was a day when the spinners were very much to the fore. And I think that's the one where Gloucestershire may have had a suspended points deduction, and Christian Brain felt that very personally. Since then, I think marks have been good for the wickets here. Another dot ball. Payne to Gorvin, who's got one boundary away, but that's all.
I'm surprised because, you know, having spoken to the likes of Andy Brassington or Jack Russell, they tell you Cheltenham was always a good cricket wicket with a bit in it for batters and bowlers.
Payne staying over the wicket. Oh, Gorvin goes to the real hoik away over the leg side, doesn't get a touch. Ball didn't get up very much. Glamorgan, well, all they can try and get to here is something respectable, and 3 figures would be a start. They still got to get 29 to get there. That's gone high in the air from Gorvin. Whose is that? Should be Josh Shaw's, and it is. Got a leading edge, top edge. He tried to pull it away to deep square, and Shaw underneath the sky that he would take 99 times out of 100 in practice does it in a match situation, and Gloucestershire almost home and dry here. Yeah,
and another wicket for David Payne. Now clear of Luke Holman as the country's leading wicket taker in the Vitality Blast T20 campaign.
24 he's up to.
Yeah.
And Jamie McElroy coming out at number 11. We're 1 ball from this game being over, and Gloucestershire's time here at Cheltenham coming to an end for another year. Started with a memorable match against Glamorgan that finished, as we all now know, in a tie. There's been some indifferent stuff in the T20 since, but it could be it will be a thumping win here at the end. Can Payne finish it? McElroy denies him for the moment with a defensive push out to Jack Taylor. Payne's got a 3rd wicket, and it seems fitting that he stays on to see if he can get the last one, but Tom Smith may have other ideas about that, and he's going to change ends and bowl his last over from the Chapel end.
Yeah, World in Motion by New Order blaring out here at Cheltenham. And David Payne, Gloucestershire fans won't be seeing him in the One Day Cup campaign. They'll be saying Arrivederci, David Payne. .73 for 9. It's almost Arrivederci to Glamorgan as well. Smith comes in from the Chapel end. Oh, that ball's Arrivederci out the ground, more or less. Where'd that one come from? Mason Crane, 6 runs.
That's the longest boundary on the ground, that as well. It's just cleared the rope, and it's hit the advertising boards in front of the Premier Club marquee.
Well, I think Mason Crane thinks I'm going to be here for a good time, not a long time. Gentlemen in the crowd singing the Human League, Don't You Want Me Baby, for some reason. That's going to be 4 runs. That's crunched and cut away by Crane. That's a good shot. That's an authentic cricket shot. Glamorgan just looking at a little bit of damage limitation here. Smith.
Set off the wrong foot.
That's pulled. Hammond Fields keeps them down to 1. So they're going to have a little go at McElroy here, and I think Smith might give this a bit of air. Tempt McElroy, and it wouldn't surprise me if another catch goes up in the air. Just one into the onside. Josh Shaw doing the fielding. I don't know what those chaps over there are saying. Don't you want me, baby? I don't know what the relevance of that. Smith twirling the ball from hand to hand. And he comes. Crane out. End of the game. And fittingly, it's Jack Taylor with the catch. And Gloucestershire had to come here today and not only win, but win convincingly. And who steps up with a brilliant 80 from 35 balls, which was just a bridge too far for Glamorgan. And it was Jack Taylor. He showed his true colours today, led from the front. And Jack Taylor, for me, has been the catalyst of this convincing Gloucestershire victory.
3 wickets for David Payne, 3 wickets for Tom Smith in this crunching win, you would say. 206 for 6 of them being put in. Bancroft, Bracey and Webster all offering some part in the platform that was built for Taylor's 80. 44 for Bancroft, 31 from Bracey, 33 from Webster, but it was Taylor who dominated the back end of the Gloucestershire innings. 3 wickets for Gorvin. He was by far and away the best Glamorgan bowler, but then Glamorgan all out in only 16 overs, and Gloucestershire getting a good hand from the crowd as they go off. Jack Taylor leading his team off. They're shaking hands, but it really was a team effort with the ball. 3 wickets for Smith, 3 for Payne, 2 for Shaw, 1 for Matt Taylor and 1 for Webster. 85 all out Glamorgan. Only Ingram, Crane and Gorvin reached double figures, and the margin of victory, and I don't have this to hand, but it must be at 121 runs. If not the biggest, very close to the biggest for Gloucestershire in a T20 fixture.
It's got to be one of the biggest in T20, hasn't it? I would say. I mean, I can't think of too many like that. So
I need to give you news of what's happening elsewhere, because that is important. At the start of the day, Gloucestershire needed to win convincingly, which they've done, and they then needed either or both of Essex and Somerset to lose. Somerset are 138 for 1 at the Ageas Bowl. They need 20 of 4.4 overs with 9 wickets in hand.
Yeah, they walked that.
Essex are 130 for 5 in the 16th over, needing 60 of 4.2 to beat Surrey. That could be much tighter, and that, you would argue, is probably Gloucestershire's better avenue for at least taking this to the last afternoon, or the last day for them, of the campaign.
Yeah, and Essex have got to go to Hampshire. Never an easy place to go.
And they'll know what they need to do as well, because Gloucestershire play the night before. Rob Scannon's just going to have a chat with Jack Taylor on the PA. I wonder if we can take that interview live on the stream now here at Cheltenham.
I think here it's nice to transfer this actually. I think Cheltenham will be more anxious about the pitch. Sometimes can be a little sticky, so yeah, obviously really progress to yeah, and I think we talked about that actually. Cameron Bangor is really assessed the position as well for that competition for us. This year. Bowlers and skilled to get it in, so try to set it.
How much do you enjoy batting here?
Oh, yeah, it's a fantastic place for us to have an amazing crowd here. Always good time.
Still a chance, obviously, depending on results elsewhere, we deserve the chance to still be in contention because of the cricket we played in this season.
Yeah, look, I think so. We've been part of some unbelievable games. We've won some really tight ones and lost a couple that we couldn't go over the line. So I think because it was so difficult at last as well, so it's going now. So we'll see how that goes.
What's the plan for this evening? I mean, we've seen many in your shirts here today. Will you be watching? Are you interested in it?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait for it. I'm sure the young lads will sort of great emulators to try and watch it sort of in a couple of foreign games. So hopefully celebrate 2 minutes.
And congratulations, tremendous performance. Thank you. Captain Jack Taylor there.
Jack Taylor with Rob Scanlon out on the PA here at Cheltenham. Thanks if you've posted a comment on the stream today about our coverage from the festival. I hope you've enjoyed it. We will continue to give you pictures from the England under-19s match, which starts here on Tuesday against Sri Lanka. But for tonight, I think once Gloucestershire have worked out what they need to do, well, they need to go and beat Middlesex at Chelmsford on Thursday, and then hope that Essex can fall short. But it's a strange time, Dan, isn't it? It's the last day for Gloucestershire here for another 50 weeks, probably, but maybe even 51. We don't know how early or late the festival might be next year. It was very early this year.
Yeah, but Ian, like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator, we'll be back.
And Dan and I will be back for the Metro Bank Cup, which will be our first match. I think is the away game against Glamorgan on the 25th of July. Commentary from Chelmsford will be led by Ed Seaborn, Dick Davis and Paul Newton.
Glenn Speller, probably.
It depends if they're all there.
Yeah.
Glenn Speller possibly as well. Thanks to you for your company today. Thanks to James Healy on the cameras. We'll see you again soon for the Metro Bank One Day Cup. But Gloucestershire, at this point, are going to leave Cheltenham with a mathematical chance of getting into the quarterfinals, and they could do no more than that here against Glamorgan today. They've won by 121 runs. We'll see you soon.